Hey everyone, I'm Madeline Sklar and welcome to the Kratom Gals. This is our weekly space where Kratom consumers come together to stay informed, share experiences, and have honest conversations about the issues affecting this community. Now, at the heart of everything we do here is education, advocacy, and protecting access to natural Kratom through open discussion and informed conversation. It's not a debate stage. Now, today, we're going to be reacting to the latest Kratom news stories making headlines around the country. And as usual, there's lots of them. And we're going to watch various clips and segments from this week's Seven Hope Alliance live stream. If you don't know about this, it was 7 hours long, and it included fascinating interviews with people like Hamilton Morris, plus even an interview with me, as well as the Kratom Gals. And later on this broadcast, we're going to watch the brand new documentary from Chris Bell. I don't know if you've heard about this, but Chris Bell has a new film out. He's the one that brought us A Leaf of Faith back in 2019, which was an incredible documentary about Kratom. That film changed my life. It's what helped me start my Kratom journey. And it's also helped so many other people in our community. This new one is called A World of Pain. It's only about 15 minutes long, but if you haven't seen it yet, man, it is so good. And it was debuted at the Seven Hope Alliance event this week. We're going to watch it in its entirety. Now, for just a super quick, important note before we dive in, this live stream we do here is for educational purposes only. It's not, we're not medical professionals. We're not giving out medical advice. We're just simply sharing our personal experiences, encouraging informed discussion here, and advocating for responsible legal access to Kratom. And real quick, I want to say a big thank you to our incredible supporters who show up here every single week. We've been doing this show here for 2.5 years. We come here every Saturday to hang out. We do it for hours every week. And we have so many amazing fellow Kratom consumers who show up in the live chat, or they watch the replay and comment in there, and love what we do here with these discussions. And we want to also give a shout out and welcome all the new viewers who are watching here. So whether you're here live or you're catching the replay, thank you for taking the time to be here. So with all that said, let's bring up the gals. We got a full house today. Hey, gals.
Hi, everybody.
Hey.
I'm excited to see everybody today.
Yeah.
Me too.
We've missed Amanda and Sarah. It's good to see y'all both back here.
Good to be back.
Yes, definitely.
Y'all both
Happy
been
to be
busy. Y'all both been busy doing life.
Busy.
Yeah.
Lots of music events for me. Not only ones that I've been helping host, but last weekend I went and attended one, and I did a lot of harm reduction, and it was really cool to see. It was really cool to see, and even in the rave scene, a lot of people know about 7OH and Kratom, and there was a lot of talk about that at the harm reduction booth this past weekend, which was really cool.
Wow, very cool. And
That
Sarah,
was really nice.
Yeah, we just recently moved to Florida, so a lot of unpacking and doing all that stuff and meeting people in the community. There's a lot of people that know about Kratom here in Florida, and it's a great community. So I'm really excited about that. And we're joining the chamber here and things like that to bring more education to this community. So I'm really excited about being in Florida.
Wonderful.
that is great. So was y'all's move, y'all went from New Hampshire to Florida this summer.
Yeah.
Was it overall smooth or had its issues? I don't know what.
It had a little bit of issues. The containers got delayed, so we had to kind of camp out for a couple of days without nothing, just like sleeping bags and whatnot. But we finally got everything. We're able to unpack and put it all together. So now it's kind of a routine thing. So I'm happy to be back now that I have my normal routine going on again.
Well, I love all the work you and your husband Dan do with Mitrospec, and that y'all are not just Kratom consumers. Any company that I'm aligned with, they're all the same. These were people who start off as Kratom consumers first and foremost. The plant changed their life, and then they wanted to change other people's lives by starting their own business. And I love that about you and Dan. And you got like Christopher, you've got so many companies out there that I did my research. and buy mine from, and want to offer goodwill support to, because we're all in this together. I want to support those mom and pop shops, the small Kratom companies with passionate advocates, but there's also some big companies too that are really great with education and advocacy, and I appreciate those too. And so and I'm sure moving was probably quite the transition.
It definitely was.
These guys aren't just the mom and pops. They're the ones that have been holding it down, doing it right for more years than most people have even been consuming Kratom. And that deserves a special accolade, because it takes a lot to be a small vendor. And
it does.
Continue to do it the right way, to engage your consumers, to be engaged in the community. Thank you guys.
Welcome. I'm happy to be part of this community. Y'all, our customers are amazing, and everyone I meet in this community is amazing. I made so many friends, and you girls and everything else. It's a really great community. So I'm really happy to be a part of it. And like Madeline said, we were consumers at first, and we were so passionate about it. We just started talking to everyone about it, and that's how we kind of made our company. We didn't even plan on making a company, actually, and then it happened. So we love it. We love helping people and educating people on Kratom.
I love that. And I'm so bummed that your Facebook, you just keep getting in trouble on Facebook, and you're like, I've had
that
enough.
email you sent out, though, was dynamite. Absolute dynamite. And I think it's going to make a lot of people stop and think.
Yeah.
Because it's not an avenue we had looked at previously.
Yeah. Right. It's just, I can't do it anymore. Right. But they have no problem with me posting content and getting people to look at it and be on that platform, but I can't say anything about Kratom. So, so I'm like, I'm done. So, yeah.
Unless you're paying into it.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Yeah. Well, we can't advertise either.
Yeah. You notice that there's few companies that pay into it, and then, they have no problem with their sales, everything. You can't even post like a little flyer that says, hey, like Memorial Day, nothing. You can't even post the word sale. You can't even post the word Kratom anymore.
They're nailing me for stuff that we did 10 years ago, literally 10 years ago.
Yeah, I still get dinged for that. Right. It's like from 2018. I'm like, really? Like, that was a long time ago. And then they're like, you're in jail for a month or what. It happens to me constantly. So I'm like, you know what? If I can't say anything and talk about the things that I care about, then it's not right for me. So I'm done.
Yeah. Real quick, John has a question in the YouTube about switching. John, best thing is if anybody in the live chat on YouTube can, give them any, we can't, discuss that on camera here, but we do have our Kratom Real Talk community is a private online community for all of us. Is where we can have, conversations, unlike on social media here, where we have to be careful what we talk about. But check it out, kratomrealtalk.com. It is basically a hub for us that I started a few years ago, where we have a safe place where we're not going to get censored like Facebook and TikTok. TikTok took one of my I had a video yesterday. It was like on this day. So it's from a year ago, right? So it's a video that's already on TikTok, right? And I just reshared it in my feed. I reshared it. They would not let it in the For You. And I'm thinking, how does that make sense? This is it. I don't understand. So I appealed it, and I'm still waiting for the appeal. I don't see. That's one of the problems we have with social media. Social media is great for getting the word out, to connect with lots of people. I know very well about this because I've been teaching social media for over 20 years. My background's in digital marketing for 30 years. And so social media is amazing. It's still great. And it always will be a great place that's how we all found each other. But I want to have a home for us outside of that with no censorship. So that's why Kratom Real Talk is so great, to just have a space where we can talk more freely, and you're not going to get in trouble for saying Kratom. Facebook has just gotten off the rails with what they're doing with that, and it's wrong.
And you can do so much on school with the groups and everything that you don't even miss Facebook anymore.
Yeah, it's the school. So the platform we're on is called School, SKOOL, and it's a a great platform where you don't have to worry about censorship, but also Substack is good. They're not censoring. I mean, I post all kinds of things on there and I haven't gotten in trouble. So it's knowing places where you don't have to worry about. X doesn't censor. TikTok and YouTube and Instagram and Facebook, like you have to watch what you do. But Facebook is literally using AI bots to go in. If you have the word kratom in a post, they're dinging you for it. And I've been in this perpetual Facebook jail for live streams. Now, I don't live stream this on Facebook. I live stream my Madeline Sklar business stuff on Facebook. And I have not been able to do it for months because here's what Facebook did. They found I don't even post that much about kratom over there. They took a post I did early last year when I was on NBC Nightly News. Who wouldn't be excited to say, hey, I'm on NBC Nightly News tonight and they did a story on me about kratom? Something real generic like that. They dinged it and they said, you cannot live stream on Facebook. So it was supposed to be for 2 months. It's been over 2 months and they still won't let me live stream. So it's just ridiculous how much censorship we go through just to share our experience with a plant. It doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
It's incredibly frustrating.
And the pages and groups that we had from years back weren't ever selling anything. That was one of our key things. We didn't sell anything. We simply provided awareness and education. And so to continually get dinged for those posts, and this is even after we went in and archived everything. It's not even visible. And yet you're still dinging me on stuff that isn't visible. And I can't fix it because you dinged me so many times.
Yep. Yeah. We had our group shut down too that same day that happened to me, and it had years of education about kratom in it. Like I worked really hard on with educating, and just all gone. I can't even get back. Nothing. So
it's terrible. Yeah. And when I lost the YouTube channel we're on right now, Kratom Real Talk, that's my second channel. My first channel was Kratom Stories Podcast. Started 2.5 years ago, and it was all the podcast episodes plus the Kratom Gals. We started this live stream series December of 2023. All of them were on there. And in this last December, YouTube deleted my account. No warning. They deleted the account. And it was, I think, the day before our Kratom Gals. So Venus saved the day because I'm like, Venus, can we just live stream this to your YouTube while I go make a new YouTube? It was incredibly frustrating, but I lost all those videos because I didn't think I needed to save them because they all lived on YouTube and you can download your YouTube videos at any time when you have your own YouTube channel, right? So it's incredible, although Venus has some of the old ones. So it's just incredibly frustrating how much censorship.
Back up.
Yeah. The thing is, it's not going to stop any of us. I mean, think about how the Kratom Gals, our name alone since February, since our now famous February 14th episode. I mean, there's a few people that keep dragging our name through the mud because they don't like what we talk about, and it's too bad. I mean, I think all it's done is made our voices louder. Whatever.
Louder
We're not going to stop. We're not going to stop advocating for our plant and talking about it.
Ooh. I think it's just getting more people to start really going, wait, what's really the bigger picture? And you know what? Yeah. If that's what we're doing, fantastic. Because what is the bigger picture? Like everybody just stop and pause, just stop and pause and really look at what's going on in the community. And then you'll really get the answer.
That is really a good point, Amanda, because that's what a lot of that negative stuff has done, is made people stop and say, wait a minute, that's not what I saw. Wait a minute, that's not what I heard.
Right.
That's not what I've experienced. What's really going on? And that's a huge benefit because it's making people open their eyes. It's making people look for themselves and check out for facts. So keep doing it, guys. Keep doing it.
Well, it's like, look at how many people tuned in to, that Seven Hope Alliance. And those are all seven, majority of them, you could say, were all 7.0 users. So if they were, super inebriated and all that, how would they all be able to attend such a large, long spread time,
Exactly.
So it's like, I mean, there was so many of there that were just so well spoken, so put together, so professional, like they're not attacking anybody. They're straight up giving facts, scientific evidence. Like, I mean, everything that many have been preaching in this community is just, it's starting to come out there, and it's coming out of, you know, a lot of more respectable mouths that I'm going to stop and listen to versus just not listening to what they have to say anymore because it's been negative.
Well, there's like this misinformation and disinformation campaign. And more and more people are seeing that and waking up to it. And it's just a real shame that it's gotten to this.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, the goal needs to be to protect Kratom and take care of the consumers. Take care of the Twinkle. Can you? And you know, it's protecting us consumers and making sure we have access to safe and legal Kratom. And what Kratom's getting taken away from all over the country, and they just love to make the scapegoat to 7.0, 7.0. Look at all the chronic pain people with their stories with 7.0. It is incredible how much is helping people.
Well, it used to be the big no-no, but I mean, that's very highly supported now.
It sure is, because people are speaking out. And it's like, I just keep saying, there's two groups of people with 7.0H. The people whose the stories we kept hearing in the beginning with, you know, overuse and not controlling themselves and not taking personal accountability. I've had so many DMs in all my social media accounts from those people with that. Yeah. And it's just a real shame that so many of them didn't realize what they were ingesting. And so many of the stories were, I went to the smoke shop and they gave me a free sample. Well, how many times have I been on this live stream saying, that's wrong? Why are they giving out free samples? Why are they doing things like that? And why do they keep escalating the doses of some of those 7.0H products? Because it's definitely caused issues. And then making them so easily accessible, where it's just been causing problems. But so were extracts easily accessible and still are. Before 7.0H was in the news, it was the extracts.
And the shots, the liquid shots.
Yeah, they were causing just as many problems.
Yeah, when you
watch, and people didn't know what it was. Yep.
Yeah, our old Kratom Gals episodes a few years ago, it was the media stories were always the extracts, always.
And like I said, so many of us that go way back know that way back then it was Kratom, period.
Verbatim.
And even though it was people that were misusing it was people that were taking too much. It was people that were taking it, mixing it with other substances. And it was people that didn't know what they were doing and didn't bother to learn.
And back then it was still labeled like gas station heroin, you know? It was like...
Quit blaming the product and start putting accountability on the people that are misusing it. Don't ban the product, ban the stupidity.
Yes, exactly. And now that there's this ban threat to 7.0H, the chronic pain community is coming out in droves with their stories publicly. And I can understand why a lot of them have not done it till now, because I come from the pain community, the chronic pain community. I was in pain management for 9 years, taking my pharmaceutical opiates every day, following all the rules, doing all the things. I never heard of Kratom. I wish I'd known about it. I would have gotten rid of my doctor and just switched over to my Kratom, my swamp water tea that I drink I've had it every day for over 7 years. Never had an issue. And it works far better for me than the opiates ever did. But nobody in the pain community were talking about it. But also, it's probably because we were so stigmatized as it was. I never went around. I mean, y'all see me as this big educator and advocate in the Kratom community. In my 9 years in pain management, I didn't talk to anybody about the Oxycontin and the Percocets. I wasn't addicted. Dependent, yes, but I was not addicted. Had no issues with overusing. When you're suffering from debilitating chronic pain, it gives you quality of life. It allows you to continue to live your life and not live in your bed. And I was not comfortable talking about it with people, only very close friends and family. And I didn't even talk with close friends and family about it for a long time, because what am I going to say? Oh, don't mind me. I'm just popping my Oxycontin. Like people would freak out because look at what
the
the
looks
media.
that we used to get, just like the amount of medical. Like, I had a big bag of pills, and people are like, "Oh my God, you have to." That's just. I'm like, this is just to get me through while I'm out. Like,
Right, I know. You always had to make sure you had all your stuff and you had enough of it just for an outing. A lot of people don't understand. You know what? If you don't understand any of this we're talking about, be thankful, because you are so lucky. You're so lucky. I mean, I've been living with this for 20 years, and I don't want to go back to how that used to be. I just want access to my Kratom. I don't
wish this on my, I don't wish this on my worst enemy. I don't wish this on anybody who's like been, mean and hateful, like with Seven. Like, there was a long time I didn't want to talk about it, because flat out, everybody has seen how I've been treated in this community because of Seven. And that, it's like, this is why people don't come out and speak on it, because the stress that comes behind it, the ridicule, the fingers. And it's like, well, did I harm you? Am I harming myself? Am I harming others? All of the answers are no. And I'm living my life, and I'm healthier now than what I was when I was on the pharmaceutical. So you're coming at me. Why? For my choice to treat my chronic pain? Like I would love someone to just swap bodies for me for a whole day, because I don't wish world pain, but switch with me for a day and walk with me just in my usual pain, not even in my worst pain, my daily usual pain. Walk with me in my everyday pain, not my flares, not my bad, really pain days. Walk with me in my normal pain day, and then you'll keep your lips a little bit tighter and be quiet on what you're sitting here harping on people about, because they choose to treat their pain the way that they're treating it.
Right. It's just the judgment of it. So many people are so quick to judge with the stigma of it when they don't understand anything about it or the person.
Yeah.
Everyone has different lives and has different health issues, and they have to understand that. And it's so wrong. And that's what keeps all of us quiet, because we don't want to be attacked. That's why.
That's right.
Well, it's going to get banned, and we'll see it. We'll see 7-0 and Mint, right there as your next pharmaceutical for chronic pain and the opioid epidemic, because
they want to take care of that.
Studying for a while, but it's not good for us now. But in a minute, when they come out as a pharmaceutical, this wonderful plant and extract we've all been preaching about is going to be like the next godsend of pharmaceuticals, and everybody should take it.
But those
the end of every news story. Yep, end of every news story. We got help for you. Come to our treatment center, and we can put you on this stuff.
Tired of that. Us chronic pain sufferers are the forgotten ones. Always. We have been back in the opiate days, and now this.
We can't say it enough or loud enough. Prohibition is never, has never, will never be the answer.
Yeah.
It has never worked. Look, and the old expression, those who fail to learn from history are doomed to repeat it. Take a history lesson, folks, because prohibition is not going to work. You're going to either drive people to a harder substance, a more dangerous substance, or they're going to go black market.
Well, look at Tennessee's overdose rate going up already.
Yeah, they should.
Don't tell me it's not from Kratom and 7-0 being banned, because we all know it is.
And there are people selling it in the back of their cars now, and there was a story just on that recently.
I have that.
This is what they're doing.
Prison now.
This is what they're doing. So they're treating normal people as prisoners.
Stop with the prohibition. Stop with the prohibition talk and actions. Regulate all these products, including plain leaf Kratom. Give us straight up, honest, safe regulation, proper labeling, age keeping, proper testing and batch releases, all the same things that you do for the vitamins we buy from Amazon.
This is what we've been doing as a community anyways, is holding our vendors responsible to do this. This isn't, the FDA and anybody. This has been us
and that's the other thing is quit supporting those vendors that are not doing it right.
Absolutely.
Because they do still exist. Stop supporting them. I don't care if you're saving money.
Yeah, no. We need the ones that are doing it. Proper lab testing, proper labeling, proper packing, proper storage. Like, if you're not doing a GMP compliance, then stop and do it properly, because you are ruining it for those who are, like Sarah or my boss, or like Happy Hippo and many other pieces who have been here for a very long time.
And then people will say, why are you more Right. And people say, why are you more expensive? Because we pay for tests and we pay for climate control.
Because you're
There's a
doing
lot
the
that
right
goes into it.
thing.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
right.
you,
When
you
I
do
buy
taxes
from you,
and
I know
everything
exactly
Yeah.
what I am getting.
Mm-hmm.
If I buy from somebody from the gas station or these vendors that are selling $30 kilos, I don't know what I'm getting. I don't know that that's not bottom of the barrel contaminated product.
It's true.
I
I hear it.
save and save to buy from a vendor that I know does it right and is giving me a safe product.
That's even with the
Right.
7.0 products I've heard, because
Yes.
I mean, we all know, like with the vendor I work with, you know, he sells 7.0 for now. But I've heard many people, and I've helped many people not only taper off 7.0. So I'm always a person you can feel free to message. I'm happy to talk to anybody. Amanda Rayner on Facebook, message me, or on, you know, on school. I'm on there as well. But they've said, you know, the tablets that they're getting from these gas stations, and then they come and they use the lab tested products that a few of these vendors are doing properly, just like they're doing with Kratom and mint extracts. And it's a world of difference and a change. Like, so whatever the garbage is in the gas stations, again, get it out. But we've got vendors that are doing it correctly and providing the lab testing, you know, from many reputable labs like Cora Labs and Murray Brown Labs. Like, these aren't, you know, just people that are, you know, getting paid to give a good lab. Like Murray Brown and Cora Labs are ones that even regular, you know, plain leaf kratom goes through. So it's sad to see, you know, a lot of people go, wow, this is garbage. You know, when they take the stuff in the gas station, you don't know what you're getting. You have no idea. And they're not educated on the product at all. They don't even know what the heck they're talking about when they, you know, talk about like kratom, you know, if it's a red or a green, they're like, oh, well, this is for this. Here you go. They have no idea.
Yeah. And I think it's kratom.
Someone like myself that has been consuming kratom for all these years, there are still so many things I don't know about it, that I rely on my vendor to inform me, to educate me more, because they do know more. One of the reasons I never ever looked at being a vendor, it's too much work. Plain and simple. Right. It's 24/7, 365, never a time off, never a break. And the amount of knowledge and effort you have to put into it is insane. So if they're charging for that, good. Shows me that they've got a good product and they know what the hell they're doing.
I agree.
Let's get to videos, y'all. We got this is going to take, I mean, there's so much I want to play for y'all today, which means, and the sooner we get started, because we're almost a half an hour in, and we've already, I know this is a very passionate discussion. I love everything y'all are talking about, but there's been so much news, and then so many phenomenal clips and segments from the Seven Hope Alliance event this week. And I know not everybody's seen it. It's 7 hours long. It was a long day they did on, what was that? That was on Wednesday this week.
Wednesday.
And they did just put up timestamps on there. I know they have it on their YouTube channel, Seven Hope Alliance. And I saw they have like all the different timestamps for all the segments, because some people are going to want to just watch the Hamilton Morris interview, and it is phenomenal. And they may want to watch some of the documentaries they play. They play 2 documentaries. I want to play these documentaries because they were really interesting and eye-opening. And just a reminder for anybody who's not familiar with us here, I consume natural kratom. A lot of us here are just natural kratom consumers, but we have several that do utilize 7-OH. On this panel is Amanda and Twinkle, and they've gotten comfortable enough to talk about how they use natural kratom and supplement with therapeutic amounts of 7-OH. And we're all okay with that. We don't see a problem with that. There are others in our kratom community that say a lot of bad things about us because that's how we feel, and it's okay. Let them. That's kind of like our little phrase. Let them. So
Yep.
It doesn't mean, because I know their conspiracy theory minds are already running at full speed. Doesn't mean, oh, Madeline must be getting paid to promote all this stuff, or she must be working with the advocacy groups and the vendors.
Or we're all out here going, go take
Whatever.
it right now. Take it.
Whatever.
Yeah, take it. None of us have said take
Exactly.
it.
I don't even
You've
do
never said that to
me.
me, ever. Yeah. Right.
Well, we're here for conversations. We're not here to promote, brands and all these different things that we get accused of quite a bit. But whatever, we tune it out because it's not worth our time and energy. We got important stuff to look at today and talk about. And I'm sure y'all heard there were quite a few news stories this week that were pretty big, but probably one of the biggest ones was the woman that took some Kratom gummies and ended up with all kinds of emergency issues and heart problems and stuff. It's a crazy.
And yet, what's the back end of that story? Because I'm not paying attention until I know the back end.
Right. They didn't say much. They just said it was Kratom gummies. She took them for a week, and then her husband found her non-responsive, but they're not saying her health condition, what medication she was on, nothing. So they're kind of missing big pieces to the story that really matter.
What was her diet like? What was she eating and consuming?
Right.
Or not eating and consuming?
Let me show the story.
And how much were they taking? Because you have to, if you're taking extra, you have to at some point know what it's making you feel like and that you shouldn't be taking it anymore. If it's gonna, if you're gonna take so much of it, it's gonna cause you to feel something, then you're feeling more of it, you would know to stop. You should stop.
Well, that's why I want to play the story because a lot is uncovered in the story. Like they said, the husband said he gave her little pieces of the gummy. I'm curious about her health too. But then all of a sudden at the end of the story, they thought she needed a heart transplant and she recovered all of a sudden. Like the whole thing is strange. Let me play this story for you because.
And let's go out on a real limb here. What health treatments had she participated in prior in the last many years?
Needing a heart transplant, that's long-term over time. You're just don't wake up one day and need a heart transplant.
Well, from a few Kratom gummies.
Not even. That's just not even.
Yeah, exactly. So I want to play this news story for y'all because it's what's been one of the biggest headlines this week. And so, let me play this for y'all and then we'll talk about it.
As Nicole said, this was very scary. Amanda Goodsell says she had never taken Kratom before, but after going to her local gas station, she decided to try one of the gummy supplements. And after taking them for a few days, she went into cardiac arrest.
You freak out a little bit. I thought she was gone.
It's a situation Amanda and Mike Goodsell never thought they'd be in.
It just all kind of happened once.
After experiencing persistent leg pain, Mike suggested that his wife try Kratom.
Everybody knew what Kratom was. So I was like, here, just take this. You could just buy it at the gas station. It's not going to hurt you.
It was over the counter, bought at a gas station. Kratom is sometimes called gas station heroin because it's often compared to an opioid.
I was just giving her little pieces of it. There was not really much knowledge to it. We didn't think there was something wrong with it or anything.
But nearly a week after taking the product, Mike says things took a turn for the worse when he found his wife unresponsive in their bed.
She was red and her lips were blue and she was foaming. So I jumped out of bed. I grabbed her and then she was trying to wake her up.
Mike says they thought she was dead. She was transported to the hospital and put on life support, her heart barely pumping.
They had to have her on the ventilator to help her breathe, and then they had to put her on a bunch of medications because her heart percentage was at 15%.
At just 27 years old, doctors say Amanda was suffering from heart failure and needed a heart transplant. But after 2 weeks in the hospital, she began to recover.
Her heart kind of did a miracle turnaround, and the percentage came up to a stable point. It was a sense of relief that they told me that she didn't need one.
While Amanda is still getting better, Mike says he's warning others about what he sees as the dangers related to Kratom.
I say give it up. It's not really worth it, to be honest with you.
And I reached out to the company that makes this product and have yet to hear back from them. But we do know that Kratom has been tied to cardiac arrest in rare cases. And while Amanda is finally home, doctors still think she'll need a defibrillator and heart medication for the rest of her life.
My first thing is blood clots. She'd been complaining about severe leg pain for days.
That's exactly what I'm sitting here going like, hello. And
guess
then
what,
needing a heart
lady?
transplant.
You should have gone to an ER, not taking something that you buy at a gas station.
Sit there and blame the Kratom gummies because, oh, hey, I was in pain because of this leg for a couple of weeks. And, oh, I took the Kratom. How about you should have gone when you felt the pain? Or, you know, are you going to blame the Tylenol that you took because you were in pain too? Like, no.
Right. But how come they didn't?
How much of that did she take?
Exactly.
But how come they didn't disclose the product? They showed all different products. They showed Kratom products, 708 products. And at the end, she said she reached out to the company who sold it. Why didn't they just focus on what the product exactly was instead of showing all the things? They said gummy. They were showing non-gummy products throughout that report.
Yeah, they were showing the tablets.
Yep. And then it was like he knew what he was buying. Yeah, he was giving it to her.
He was the one that was giving it to her. So he was possibly, in a sense, giving her too much, and she was feeling. We all know how it feels if you take too much, or those who can't take a white. You feel like you're jittering out of your skin. You want to like that's like accountability.
And when
where's
her
the accountability?
pain wasn't being relieved with it, and she had to keep taking more. That should have been an indication she needed to go to the hospital.
Right.
We're lacking a lot of common sense in this world.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you're not even researching it here. Take this gummy. I heard this works
20 years ago.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, that was making the headlines this week, that particular story. I have lots of questions, and we're probably never going to get the answers. You know how many people, especially young people these days, have an undiagnosed heart condition and they literally drop dead? It happens every day. So there's so many other things but the leg pain definitely, it's exactly what when Mike put it in the comments while we were watching it and what y'all are saying. It sounds like it was related to a heart issue and she didn't go get it checked out. But regardless, I hope she's okay. Hope she's on the mend. You know, we don't want ill will.
Please stay away from any Kratom products because you're not very much educated on it.
Well, and the other thing is you'll need a defibrillator and heart medications for the rest of her life. That shows you right there. That is not Kratom.
Nope.
That's an undiagnosed underlying condition that she's been living with and didn't know it.
And I mean, we don't have to be doctors to know simple common sense with some heart issues, because I'm sure we've all dealt with people in our families or friends. Like my father had heart issues. My mom had heart issues. Like, nope, absolutely not. I'm not buying it. I'll call BS on this one.
Yeah, because my husband too, these are things that progress. It doesn't it's not just there on the spot.
No, you don't need a heart transplant and then all of a sudden don't a couple days later.
No, you don't. No,
my father-in-law had heart surgery as well, and we knew, like, when it's your heart and it's not,
Yeah.
Our next story is Tennessee. What one of y'all mentioned a little while ago, that Tennessee banned all Kratom, 708, everything, and it's not going to be surprised when overdose deaths go up. Everybody, the addiction recovery centers are like, everybody's coming to us now because they were all addicted. So it's quite interesting. Y'all check out this story with me.
Recovery leaders are seeing more and more Tennesseans reaching out for help since Tennessee's Kratom ban went into effect July the 1st.
I'm very sad to say that our membership has been increasing a lot, especially with the recent bans either.
Kratom comes from the leaves of a tree native to Southeast Asia and can act as a stimulant or sedative, depending on how much you ingest.
State Capitol reporter Tori Gessner has the story of how one virtual recovery group has grown and how you can get help.
Greg Kiso is used to being behind a computer screen. The virtual meetings he leads through Kratom Anonymous have become a lifeline for people trying to overcome addiction.
Everyone is welcome. The only desire is to stop using Kratom. And
what started as just a handful of people has grown into a community of dozens logging on each day to share their struggles and support one another. And since Tennessee's Kratom ban took effect July 1st, Kiso says even more people have been reaching out to Kratom Anonymous for help.
We started in December, and I'm very sad to say that our membership has been increasing a lot, especially with the recent bans. A lot of people are afraid if they don't have the substance anymore, the withdrawal is going to come.
While the withdrawal is survivable, some say it's not pleasant. Kiso knows well through his own 10-month addiction to Kratom that started with a free sample from a local tobacco shop.
In my lived experience and the lived experience of people in the rooms, it is very similar to an opioid. It affects your thoughts like an opioid. It affects your behavior like an opioid. And it also withdraws like an opioid.
But his message isn't about fear. It's about spreading hope that recovery is possible and letting people know they don't have to do it alone.
But the one thing that we offer at Kratom Anonymous is it is for Kratom, and people will understand you the moment you walk in the door. You will not have to explain what Kratom is. We know what it is. We know all too well what it is. And we understand the weight that you're carrying.
Reporting in Nashville, I'm Tori Gessner.
Now, Tennessee is one of 9 states with a total ban on Kratom. Kratom Anonymous holds 15 virtual meetings a week. You can learn more at Kratom
15 meetings a week? Holy cow.
That's more than I hear for like alcohol and substance, which is really kind of sad.
Oh my gosh.
Because we've got a really bad alcohol and substance problem out there. I wish they would focus more on the bigger problem.
Wow.
And again, let's go back to accountability. Folks knew this ban was coming. It should never have happened. It needs to be overturned, just like they did previously. But you already knew it was coming. Why weren't you taking steps? Asking people, how do I stop taking Kratom? For me, real simple, I quit taking it. But for those few that do perhaps suffer addiction or dependency, maybe they need help. I won't fault them for that. But I will also ask that these people look at pause. What brought you to Kratom? Did you jump straight from an opioid onto Kratom? And now when you quit, guess what? You're still withdrawing from that opioid. There needs to be so much more education and enlightenment and accountability when it comes to these things, because they're saying they're seeing an increase in members and having all these meetings every week. And yet Tennessee is giving out, what are they called? The opioid recovery kits to keep people from overdosing because people are going to the streets. How many people did you have taking Kratom in the state of Tennessee, folks?
Yeah. Yep. So, and what's really sad is how many Kratom consumers fought at the state capitol, repeatedly went to the hearings, went door to door to all the different Congress people, told them their stories of how this plant has saved their lives, and they all got dismissed. None of them cared. None of them cared. And what I want to know, when that happens, what's going on behind the scenes? What are the lobbying groups doing?
It was like in Connecticut. Well, look at here in New Hampshire when we first went, we were talking about no ban at all. We were just talking about regulation. They were interested in 7. They didn't want to ban it. They had no resources to do all these bans. And then all of a sudden, money talks, they're paid off, and their votes completely changed. So we all know it's money. It's being paid off.
Is it the prisons too? Because you're making these people criminals. Is it that you need more people in the prisons? There's a lot of questions.
Look up
how many private prisons are being built in Tennessee right now.
That's a lot.
The number one question I would ask is how many are being built?
One inmate per inmate. I know in the state of California, I looked this up quite a few years ago, it was $75,000 a year per inmate. That's what these people are getting. So start looking into what's really going on. It comes down to the almighty dollar. We're being sold out. They don't give a damn about us. Look at what they've already taken our medication away from us. We can't get the help that we properly need. Now they're taking anything that we properly can. I mean, I saw something on cat's claw yesterday. I about lost my mind. I'm like, are you kidding me? Yeah.
It's not just cat's claw. And that is what we have preached from way, way back. Anybody that's ever known me has heard me say, today is Kratom, tomorrow is everything else. Because we have been able to provide, until the last few years, we always presented a united front. And we were able to fight and defeat these bans and these bills and these prohibitions. They knew they couldn't stop us. Now they have found a way to cause issues.
Right.
And once they get us stopped, it's a very easy step to start coming after all the rest of the botanicals.
Well, look at the divide.
Especially when a community divides. Exactly.
Yes,
right.
All this
United we stand, divided we fall.
And that this division needs to stop. I mean,
like, where did the division of Kratom and 7-0 start? It was not just consumers. It wasn't.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I think we put a bridge. I think we Kratom Gals put a little bit of a bridge in that divide this week, you know, because it's gotten so out of hand, so out of control. These groups are supposed to be protecting our Kratom, keeping it safe and legal, keeping it from getting banned. They keep pushing for division. They want everybody fighting. What's really going on? Why are they doing this? Right. Why?
Well, I will go back and thank Amanda and Twinkle and many others that have been 7-0 consumers and also 7 Hope, because you guys have opened our eyes at BAE. We've changed our stance because it's not right for us to preach no prohibition. Botanicals are safe, botanicals are good, and then try and stand against or not stand in support of people that choose to consume 7-0.
Thank you.
Because even though it's not a full plant derivative, it is still semi-synthetic. It's still Kratom.
Thank you. Thank you for recognizing
guess what,
that,
folks. And it's thanks to you guys that we were able to do that, because we didn't know these things before. We went based on things we had heard.
Things that was pushed on all of us in the Kratom community, because we have been told repeatedly by one particular advocacy lobbying group that this is synthetic, that this needs to be banned, that this is the reason why natural Kratom, why they're coming after us. And it's semi-synthetic, it's not completely synthetic. But you know, it's so interesting how they've been pushing for Schedule 1, which would criminalize consumers. And it's interesting all of a sudden the AKA is backtracking like, well, we don't want consumers to get criminalized. So once this is over, then we'll
Schedule 1.
But this whole argument they're doing now.
And then the others.
Well, hold on. It's this ban it now, fix criminalization later argument they're doing right now. And it's like, do they think we're all dumb and we don't understand this stuff? They think they all just want us quiet about this.
Yeah.
It's just, it's ridiculous. So no, we're not being quiet about it.
We are supposed to have lost our memory of everything that has been said to date. And one of the key things that really changed my initial outlook on 7-0H was listening to the doctor that New Hampshire had speak.
Dr.
When he went into, and that was on this show, hearing that man speak and break down exactly what 7-0H is. It was like, wait a minute, that's not what I've been hearing. That's not what I've been told. That's not what's been screamed from several different directions. Why are they, okay, again, all boils back to money. Stop it.
Absolutely. For sure.
But and the 7-0 people have done more to stand up and fight for Kratom than the Kratom people ever have for the 7-0. And that's wrong.
Yeah.
The division has to stop.
Hart and 7 Hope right now, I don't think we'd have the the good news that like New Hampshire's gotten, or California, because you know what, like it was Seven Hope and Hart that were out there busting their rear ends to save the entire
and
plant.
even SSDP came forward for quite some time ago too, so we do have them too, and that's Students for Sensible Drug Policy.
You don't see that out there,
right?
You know,
right. You see nothing but ban, like fight for our plant. You're not out there fighting for our plant. You're fighting to divide us, and literally you're fighting to take people's lives, and that's disgusting behavior in my book.
And I agree with what Mike said here, that we want there to be regulations on everything, Kratom, 7-0, everything.
That's right.
And get it out of these easily accessible areas like gas stations and convenience stores. It should be in smoke shops behind the counter. It should be online. Places where there's more room for education and not giving out free samples, and just, you know, having an industry that you know, regulates. That's what we would all like to see. But you know what's interesting? We're going to, in just a little while, we're going to be watching the new Chris Bell documentary. And Jeff Smith from Hart is on there. And he says in the 2 years that 7-OH has been on the market, there's been 1 billion servings of 7-OH and only 11 adverse events.
Right.
You know, I become an ally to the 7-OH community because so many people in the chronic pain community are speaking out. Twinkle has opened up our eyes since last year when she started talking about knowing that she could place this big stigma on herself, because so many people in our Kratom community are so anti-7-OH, no matter what. They don't care if you're suffering in pain. They don't care. We've seen the transformation.
Not enough. Some of them say they do, but not enough to understand.
No. And so we're trying
to every single one of us screams, we want regulation. We want all these products out of gas stations. And I'm talking all of them. There should not be a single feel-free sold in the gas station. There shouldn't be a 7-OH. There shouldn't be any MIT. There shouldn't be Kratom. Nothing should be sold in the gas station.
Yeah, me and my husband always said that was going to be a problem. Always. Yeah.
Exactly.
And then when we don't have an issue with 7-OH either, they gave us a hard time too. And I don't take it personally, but I don't have a problem with anyone that takes it and it helps them, then good for them. Banning it is wrong. And I get a lot of pushback from that as well, you know, and it's wrong. And that divides us because, you know.
Exactly.
And I feel bad.
7-0 is for, should.
Go ahead, it's okay.
7-OH, I have seen how much benefit it has provided to pain patients. And that has always been what touches my heart, not only because I am one, but because I am surrounded by people I love that are. And to try and take that away from them is simply repeating what was done with the opioid epidemic.
Yes.
And it's wrong. I don't care who's doing it, it's wrong.
Right. And it's all because other people can't be held accountable and abuse that. We pain patients lose every single resource we get because of somebody else abusing it. And then we end up having to use Suboxone or gabapentin and going to the clinics first thing in the morning to be dosed when we're in pain. We're not addicted at all.
People,
right.
People with chronic illnesses and the chronic pain that comes with most chronic illnesses. You know, we're sick people. I don't like to have that. I don't like to think of it that way, but that is it. That is my reality. And going back to what Sarah was saying earlier, you know, then you end up with some stigma on you because you're saying it's okay, you know, I'm not for prohibition, or I can be an ally. And then, you know, other people are in a sense after you, or they want to be. They might not come out to everybody to go against everybody, but they do that sometimes, or they want to come and have these conversations, but really the conversation is about shutting you down and having you, you know,
exactly
their way. Yeah. So
they don't want a conversation, they want a dictatorship.
Yes, which has been going on for far too long, and I'm done with it. I am completely done, because they keep thinking by pointing fingers at us and trying to make us look bad that would shut us up, and all is done. And I know they're watching.
It's 0.3 more back at them.
Made us louder, and you know what? I was thrilled to be on 7 Hope's live stream this week as an ally, and I so got put into that direction because so much hate has been directed at us in our own community, because so many of us feel for our fellow chronic pain sufferers and starting to realize, wait a minute, there's another narrative to this. Why do we keep listening to this one that's being force fed on us? And it's like, enough is enough. I'm talking to so many people in the pain community have been reaching out, and their stories so touching, so moving. I will never dismiss people in the pain community. I've put up videos about this for years. My stance has not changed, but I'm getting louder about it. And I'm proud to be louder with this, because it's like, enough is enough. Let me real quick, because I want to play. There's like a lot of stuff on that Seven Hope live stream that's so worth watching together and talking about. And because it was 7 hours, a lot of people probably haven't seen that much of it yet, because it is. I mean, it's a lot to watch, but so many great parts to it. But let me play real quick the last news story out of Tennessee. Some craziness because of the ban.
Well, tracking crime, deputies in Robertson County arrest a man who they say was selling Kratom out of his car. Last night, investigators executed a search warrant at the North Point gas station in Springfield. Deputies reported finding multiple illegal Kratom products from the trunk of Amshadar Reddy Donapatis's car. Well, Donapati worked at the gas station. We're told he was selling the products outside in an effort to keep them from being visible inside the store. He's now charged with possession of Kratom with intent to sell and is being held on a $50,000 bond.
So, all because they banned it there and wanted to turn everybody into criminals, and he probably had all this stock and had to figure out, do I take the loss or do I chance it and try to sell it?
And now he's a criminal.
He was actually trying to help people as well. Yeah,
like
I'm going to sell my stock,
have a
but
cheaper bond than that. It's disgusting to see what these people are being charged with when you have like predators out there, murderers, child rapists, molesters. They're getting less time. Like, trust me, they get less time, 2.5 years, for 9 years of abuse. And yet, somebody selling Kratom is going to,
he's probably going to go to prison. And I'm not saying what he did was right.
Non-violent crime. And you're absolutely right.
I'm not saying what he did was right, but this is the effect of them banning.
This is what people are going to be forced to do, and this is ridiculous.
Exactly. And turning people into criminals, and then the prison gets more money, right? It's a whole circle. Yep.
Well, let's not forget
that or a bunch of overdoses, and that's just the sick form of population control that we have right now.
Yeah.
But let's not forget Shayna Brown, who about 3 years ago, using Kratom, the powder Kratom, in her recovery, in her sobriety, she was over in Florida, bought it legally, crossed an imaginary state line back in Alabama, didn't realize she crossed the line, gets pulled over with like a bag of Kratom, right? The plant, the leaf. They put her in jail for 8 months, and guess how much her bond was? $1 million, because it's Schedule 1 there. And they treat it as if it is heroin or fentanyl and that you're trafficking it. And luckily, we found out about it. A lot of us in the community heard about her story. A bunch of us raised money and were able to get her bailed out. She's been bailed out. It's still hanging over her. They did eventually reduce the bail, but it was $1 million for the law. You had all these, worse crimes in the jail with her. For way what, 10,000, 50,000. Here she is on $1 million bond. Got reduced a couple of times. Finally got down to about, I think it was 75,000. Was able to hire a lawyer to get her out, but they're still hanging over her. They never did decide what to do with her.
She's still waiting.
And then we have Marshall Price.
Marshall
Price. His life was lost because he was put into prison because of Kratom.
Yep. And he paid the ultimate price.
He did. And I feel for his family, and his daughter is such a beautiful, sweet advocate. Like, she advocates her butt off for Kratom. She's a really sweet freaking individual. I love
She's amazing.
I love her. She's a sweetheart.
Yeah. So All right, we're done with the news stories. There's so much with this Seven Hope. I found like so many great nuggets of things for us to watch. Really, it felt to me like a big theme was, regulation, not prohibition. Don't criminalize people. Don't ban this. And it's so interesting. I mean, I learned a lot. They have so many people in the pain community sharing, being vulnerable, sharing their story, these short little videos, and telling their story of how this plant has changed their lives. Now, one of the things we hear a lot in our Kratom community is, oh, they just need to go switch back to the Kratom plant, and as if because it works for them, they think everybody on 708 should go back. I'm very fortunate that the Kratom plant works so well for me. And I knock on wood every day that I've been able to take my little swamp water tea for 7.5 years, and it works better than my pharmaceuticals ever did. But if it wasn't working, what do you think I'm going to do? Of course, I'm going to look at other things. So then what? So now I'm this bad person to be demonized because I'm just trying to live my life without being in pain. None of us asked to be living in this kind of pain. And the people that are screaming at us are the people that don't understand that, as we've already talked about before. So
I think something that stands out probably the most to me, because I am the daughter of a veteran, very proud daughter of a veteran. And I know that the military, in all its infinite stupidity, has banned kratom and coffee use across the board, period. Cannot use it. And yet I am seeing veteran after veteran after veteran be willing to risk everything and come forward and say, this is something I use, this is something that helps me. That should tell you all anyone ever needs to know. These men and women have already given everything, and now you're asking them to give up the one thing that they have found that helps them, even though they place themselves at risk by doing so.
Where's people's compassion?
What, folks?
Really? Where is people's compassion? These people have fought for your freedom to be here, to be able to be here, to consume the plant you consume. And I've seen some of the nasty kratom community take it away from them. Take it away from them. They should get their ranking take away. Excuse me? Because they're in pain? These people hurt themselves on a daily basis fighting for our freedom. You better let them have whatever they want.
They will lose everything.
Yeah,
but they're willing to risk it to stand up and say, this helps me.
Yep.
And I'm not addicted, but it allows me to function. And for them to stand up and say that tells me everything I need to know about the product.
Yeah. Same thing. My dad was in Vietnam. He's a veteran, and kratom has helped him. And now same thing, how is that fair? It's not.
Yeah. Well, I want to play, a variety of clips from this live stream they did. Plus, I was invited to be interviewed. They did the interview with Madeline, which was really cool, and the interview with us Kratom Gals as another interview. And Twinkle got to host, which was awesome. You did a co-host. What was it, for about an hour?
Yeah.
That was so awesome. You were so
great. It was a great day.
Yeah,
Thank you.
And so much.
Where to?
Thank you so much. Valuable information went out to the community there for that, but also bringing people together in the 708 community. And so many people in the 708 community are kratom consumers.
That's right.
I don't know why so many people go around saying, oh, they need to go out and advocate. Well, a lot of them advocate, and they're advocating for kratom in 708. They advocate for what helps them, but I don't know. It's just,
and they've been advocating this whole time. They just found this little extra thing that helped them, and now they're extending.
Yeah.
And Seven Hope advocates for both plain leaf and 708, the whole plant.
I love.
So.
Yeah, because Twinkle, when you've gone to the state capitol in California a few times to go testify with Seven Hope, y'all shirt say kratom and 708.
Kratom and
It doesn't say just 708. And so
say kratom and 708. Yeah.
I think that's where's a misconception with the community is because it says Seven Hope Alliance, and I share that often because they've got a lot of updated information and they send out text messages and everything, and it's like, for me, that's the easiest one I send out, because everything is so up to date, or the Fast Democracy. Those are the two that I get, stuff right away. but people are like, oh no, and I'm like, they're fighting for all of the plant, every alkaloid of the plant. It's not just 7. No, we can't do. It's sad.
Well,
it's
it
sad.
goes back to us being fed this one-way push narrative of what it is. And if you actually, most people just follow the herd.
I fell for that at first too. I
Well,
wasn't
a lot
for
of us
7-0.
did.
Everybody
Me
knows that.
too,
Like,
and
I wasn't for it.
A
I was
lot
like,
of
nope,
us
this is
did.
going to take it away.
Me too.
We were not on board with it for a long time here, but you know, when you're fed this, it's so easy to just follow the herd, follow the narrative.
It's scare tactic.
Well,
scare tactic. That's hey, if it doesn't happen this way, it's going to get taken away, and this is why. So
no,
go
it's
blame them.
financial. It's not even scare tactic. It's
Well,
financial.
he's scaring the community, but for the ultimate game, it's their financial pocket.
Yeah.
Right. But the thing is, look, we all have our choice to do what we want in this country, right? You can choose to, you know, speak out, to follow your heart, and you follow the herd if you want. I choose to no longer follow dear leader and like, oh, because you said it, that's the way it is. No, I'm sorry. Call me names. Keep calling me names. Whatever. No, I can make my own opinions. Yeah, exactly.
I love being a loudmouth advocate.
And unless somebody is hurting themselves or others, who are we to dictate somebody else's life and freedom?
Right.
You know,
this is saving lives. Why are we going to want to take that away from someone? This is helping people, one, not want to unalive themselves for whatever, you know, mental health, physical health. This is saving so many people's lives, and it's literally been proven. You take it away and you're seeing all these overdoses. It's not because of lack of Narcan, because that was their thing. Oh, it's because Narcan's out there. No, the Narcan's still there. Trust me, I know the Narcan's still there. I have it by the plethora. I've got it by carloads. I've been handing it out, doing training on Narcan. The tools that are out there for us, like 7-0, you know, and I want to give props to 7-0, because where you can send in your message, you know, and say, hey, like, this is how much I take, to show that each one of us do take a different dose, whether it be plain leaf kratom and or milligram when it comes to 7-0, because we know when you go to a pharmaceutical, which they want to do, they're going to say, this is your dose, take it every 4 to 6 hours, and this is all you can take. And what Twinkle takes, there's no way that would help me. What I take, that would be way too much for Twinkle. But this is, you know, that's why, you know, I could take up to 35 milligrams of 7-0 on a bad pain day. You know, Twinkle takes these tiny little nibbles that, to me, that's something I would probably sprinkle on
and see
my dose.
And I
you know?
could increase. I just took 2 Tylenol right here during our live. I could increase, but I'm trying to intentionally stay as low as I can. Now, right now during the move, I've increased a couple milligrams, but I'm still very safe. And for you, what you're taking is very safe for you. We're all different.
Exactly.
Our needs are different. There's some people that I hear for their chronic pain are up to 60 a day, you know, and maybe there's other people out there that's a little more. I don't know, but I've heard that most of the chronic pain community are 40, 60 a day, and I am much lower than that. But I consider myself to have leeway. So if on the worst days or days that I'm on my feet longer, like now, I can increase, and I am certainly not going overboard, as somebody would like. Oh my God, you took an extra milligram. That's
oh man, I've been ridiculed.
They're cute. Oh yeah,
I was just recently by a vendor in a chat, like telling me I was a full-on junkie and druggie, and that it was nasty, and I'm like,
that's
well, wait
just
a minute,
wrong
like,
for people to do.
That's wrong.
I could stop all of this, even plain leaf. I've stopped it with, you know, very sniffles and like my normal body aches, very minimal withdrawals. I've got my pause, but like I've stopped all of it for a month at a time when I had my hysterectomy. I don't take 7-0 every single day, but for this person to like just sit there and talk to me, I'm like, wow, do you talk to your customers like that? Like, because that's just disgusting behavior. Like, it's
it
just
was also said,
so sad.
It was also said that all kratom consumers are nothing but junkies.
Exactly. And that man's making money off of them.
Helping ourselves, they're trying to shame us for not helping ourselves or something, but kratom by itself is perfectly acceptable. That's okay. You know, it would have been okay for me to say that I was able to accomplish this or this if it was kratom only, but it's not acceptable at all for me to say it's been both. or on a day, that it was another milligram of 7. That's not okay. It's not even okay for me to say that I'm, Kratom supplementing with therapeutic dose. None of it's okay, but it is what it is. And we're going to change this narrative because there's so many other ones out there. And I'm glad that I've been able to help people feel okay to reveal that they're also taking nibbles too.
I tell you, Twinkle,
that's just it. It is okay for you to say that. Don't let somebody else convince you differently.
Right. And I'm so glad that you started talking, because look, we were seeing that one-sided version of 7-OH and following along, and we'd have people in the live chat here, trying to change our minds and stuff. And I know many times we're like, no, because again, we're following the herd and not taking a moment to go, wait a minute, maybe I should educate myself a little more. Maybe I should look into this a little more. But I'm being told something, and everybody believes the something we're always being told. And it can be hard to break free. It's easy to not break free. Like, let's just keep doing that. And it's like, you had that courage to say, slowly start talking about 7-OH. And none of us were freaked out, really. I think a lot of us were surprised.
It makes me more comfortable to be able to come and start joining, even just joining to watch them. Because before I wasn't watching them because of a couple of people that were just so, nasty. Like their behavior was just nasty.
They do.
And it
happens.
Yeah, that took a while to kind of, so it just, again, like with the one, so you get so used to that narrative and the things people say, you don't start thinking for yourself, or maybe there's another side to this. And so,
well, I mean, just the fear of losing Kratom alone, that was what mine was. I'm like, oh my God, like we could lose Kratom because of this, because this is what they're saying. And I was like, well, absolutely not. And I'm like, I even told my boss I was going to stop working for him. He goes, wait, do the research. My son is a biochemist. I go, here, 1, go test this for me. 2, what is all this? 3, what does this mean? Like, dumb it down into plain English for me. And this was like, the end of 2023, beginning of 2024. And he goes, well, they're studying these these alkaloids to turn into a pharmaceutical. And as he dug deep, he goes, yes, Mom, you're safe to take this. This is my son, who is a biochemist, who has tested my product and has done his own, research, who's a biochemist, and says, yes, Mom, you are safe to take this. I would not be taking it if that was not the case.
Yeah, well, I'm so glad that you got informed with that through your son. Let's go and get into some of these clips I want to play for y'all from the 7 Hope Alliance. I'll have a link to it in the YouTube description later, but also anybody can just go to YouTube, type in 7 Hope Alliance, and go to their YouTube channel, and you'll see it there. It was called Save 7-OH Virtual Rally and Comment-a-Thon, because they were trying to encourage people to go to the Federal Register and comment. And they did a great job of walking people through and showing them how to do it online.
They did.
And what's so interesting? This so parallels 10 years ago when Kratom, had that potential ban, and how everybody went to the Federal Register and shared their comments. As of today, on the Federal Register for this potential ban of 7-hydroxymetragenine, there are 21,833 comments received. And that number is not always like as of this minute. So it just keeps going up because, I don't know, the way they do it at the government, but that's what it shows right now on there. So they've been receiving lots, and I'm sure there's a lot of anti-comments in there, but I've kind of poked through and looking, because it's all public. You can kind of go through the docket and look at comments people are leaving. And there are so many of them from people in the pain community. It is unreal. So I definitely want to spotlight. So really, the theme is regulation, not prohibition, and listen to the pain people that are coming forward now. I mean, a lot of people use 7-OH for different reasons, just like for those of us in the Kratom community. But I want to start off, I'm going to do these in order that this all was in this, because that way, when I kind of start beginning here, it'll kind of help for those that want to go back and find these. But again, they have the timestamps on their video at 7 Hope Alliance. So like, I'm going to start with the interview with Soren Shade and Dr. Hart. And like, you'll be able to go easily find the entire interview with them. I'm just going to play a couple of segments because I thought they were really good. But Soren Shade has been in the kratom industry for about 6 years. He has a company called Top Tree Herbs. They only do kratom tea, like the tea bags. And I've known them for years, and I got to meet him in Washington, D.C. about 3 years ago when the AKA did one of their Hill Days. And that was the first time I went and got to meet Soren and Caro. And they were awesome people. But this just goes back to the problems on the industry side and with the these advocacy groups. Is at one point, I'm just telling you my quick opinion here, and then we're going to watch this. So I always liked Soren a lot. Super smart. Had him on my Kratom Stories podcast. Super smart. Had Caro on the podcast. And both of them had been on my podcast. Great people. But at one point, all of a sudden, they were working with the GKC, not AKA, as a kratom company. And I just remember, oh, anybody working with the GKC, we're not allowed to like the GKC. We're not allowed to like anybody associated with them. And there were advocates. There was a huge advocate in our community just because she made a video with them. People were spreading rumors she must be paid by them. It's like, so we keep getting told to hate on people because certain people didn't like this. And it just didn't sit well with me that, oh, we can't like Soren now because he's aligned with the GKC as a vendor. But now it doesn't matter because now AKA and GKC work together. So, but as you'll see in this clip, Soren is he has some great talking points he's going to be discussing with, prohibition and regulation and stuff. And so I'm just so glad I'm out of that mindset of, oh, we're told who we're allowed to like and who we're not allowed to like. And this has been going on for years. And it's like, I'm so done with all of that. It's petty.
I agree.
It's juvenile. We're not in junior high school. It's like, and it's just so great because I haven't seen Soren around in a long time. And it's just, I was so happy to see him on this because he's so well-spoken. And he was on with Dr. Carl Hart. I didn't know a lot about him, but man, you go Google him. He's quite impressive. So I'm going to play some clips from both of them. So we're going to start off with this. So let's take a listen.
People in the psychedelic movement, call out those people in the cannabis movement. And so they can understand that all people are doing who are using 7-hydroxy, they're doing exactly the same thing they're doing with cannabis, exactly the same thing they're doing with psilocybin. And so we have to call them out and so they can see that our plight is intertwined with their own plight. And when they are not showing up for us, we have to make sure that we call them out because we certainly have shown up for them. This is a simple matter of people choosing which sort of alteration they desire. Just like some people like to go skiing. I hate that shit, but I would much prefer to go play basketball or something like that. But I'm not going to besmirch people who go skiing. Instead, I'm going to fight for their right to go skiing, which can be a dangerous activity. But it also can be a really fun activity. And so people have to understand that this is a simple thing of bodily autonomy. And to be somehow, I'm sorry?
Oh, no, we have a graphic that says that, yes.
Yes. And so to be maneuvered into this notion that 7-hydroxy is somehow uniquely dangerous, that's just nonsense. And we've seen this before at the turn of the 20th century with opium associated with the Chinese, cocaine associated with Black people. We've seen this movie before. We've seen this with alcohol associated with the Irish, with the Germans. We've seen this before. And it pains me that we're going through the same thing once again. And people are not calling out the Joe Rogans for being at the White House with that stupid shit with Ibogaine. Well, it's good that Ibogaine is available. It's stupid shit that he did not talk about other drugs. And so people need to call those people out. And until we call them out and say, this is quintessentially American, having the right to choose, to do with your body as you see fit. When we do that, then we bring in the abortion right crowds. Then we bring in the sex workers crowd. Then we bring in the people who are adults who want to control their body and tell the state to go fuck off.
No, absolutely.
Isn't that like just so empowering what he was talking about there? I just thought that was just any quick thoughts before I move on to the next clip?
He is just such an OG. I mean, he takes OG and gives it definition, and
I love him.
Yeah, he was great. I really enjoyed
But
watching
the big thing is our body, our choice.
And he tells it like it is.
Yeah.
He just
Exactly
gives it
what
to
I
you.
was
No
just gonna
BS.
I love that about him. I mean, I just thought his message was so good. Let me play, because I got so many clips. Let me play another one for y'all.
Talk about and have real conversations, which I wholeheartedly agree with. I think everyone at Seven Hope does. And to everything you just said, I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to join us today and share that. And I mean, we're not done yet, but I just wanted to share that we had a conversation at MAPS, and I thank you for what you just said.
I want to throw out another question for you, Dr. Hart. If you could talk a little bit about the pharmacology of Kratom and the claim by some in the Kratom space that 7.0 is not Kratom. I heard you once say that, actually it was in an interview with Soren, that we don't chew willow bark, we take aspirin. So if you could just talk a little bit about, you know, the plant and the alkaloids and what is or is not different and the same.
Yeah, these people annoy me with this stupid ass distinction between natural and synthetic. It's an artificial distinction. You know, the willow bark is where the aspirin comes from. Many of our drugs come from plants. We get codeine from the opium poppy, you know, so that's just ridiculous. People don't understand that. We get these drugs from these plants, and we can increase the concentration of these active components of the plants, and so we don't have to chew 80,000 plants to get a therapeutic effect. And so that's what you want. When you do that, you decrease the likelihood of non-specific effects. Like, for example, I did a lot of Kratom in my life, and I certainly was not seeking metrazanine. I was seeking 7-hydroxymetrazanine, but I had to take a lot of Kratom in order to get the 7-hydroxy. And by the time I got what I was seeking, my stomach, my gastrointestinal stuff was all fucked up. And so it would have been a hell of a lot nicer to just have a dose of, I don't know, 10 milligrams of 7-hydroxy, specific effect, a decrease of these non-specific effects. I'm good. I can go to my faculty meeting and deal with painful people. I'm good. As opposed to having to go there with a stomach ache from Kratom. And so it's important for people to understand that this distinction between natural and synthetic drugs, it's a man-made artificial distinction. All of our drugs, many of our pharmaceuticals come from plants, and we synthesize them so we can get them in the appropriate concentrations so we can minimize non-specific undesired effects. Pharmacology 101. Now, I want to also leave people with this message, this point. You know, the United States was founded on this principle, some beautiful principle. Granted, the founding fathers had their limitations. I don't want to hear people tell me I don't know that shit. I know that better than you. They had their limitations, but their words, the words are much bigger than them, and they last longer than them. And the words are that we, as American citizens, have this essential bodily autonomy. That is, we can do with our bodies what we choose. And it's not my business to tell you what you can do with your body. Now, that will not happen just by osmosis. People have to be willing to fight for their human rights. And when you're willing to fight for your human rights, there's a cost. I get people all the time who come to me and say, you know, I'm feeling you, I'm with you, but you know, the cost is blah, blah, blah. It's like, fuck out of here. All of our heroes have to pay a cost. We all pay a cost. That's the cost of repression. And that's the cost of being free. We all pay the cost. And so if you are not willing to take your rights, then you probably are not in the right place.
Woo!
So good.
Wow. He's an interesting guy. This is why
I would love to take a class with him.
I would too. He's written all these
Oh,
books.
yeah.
He's written all these books too. Definitely go Google him. So I have been just so educated by watching these interviews, listening to them. I'm seeing this whole other side. This like, why didn't I pay attention to this sooner? It's like, why didn't I open my mind more to like, I'm not telling anybody like pick a side or love everything or what you do you. I'm doing me. And I'm just trying to show everybody.
And it shouldn't be about sides. Like we should be all together because it's all the same plant. You know what I'm saying? So I don't get the whole divide thing. And it has been going on for way too long.
All of this information that's been withheld while we are listening and the masses are listening to all this other negative. And as we go and Madeline plays more, I mean, it's very educational.
Something that strikes me is, and Sarah, you can attest to this as a vendor. From the start, one of the big goals of vendors was to reach a point with Kratom that it could be sold at the GKC, at a Walmart, that there would be enough understanding and acceptance of the product that it could be sold easily to the general public. That was always a goal. And yet now, because 7-0 actually made that goal a reality, they're being slammed for it. Now, do I agree it should be in gas stations? No. But I see no reason not to have it in a GKC or a store where it is
GNC.
Right. Exactly.
I got GKC on the brain, apparently. So it just strikes
like
me
a
funny that this
dispensary.
was always such a goal for so long. And now suddenly, oh, it's terrible to do this.
Right, exactly, which I never understood. And I always stood my ground with, you know, I'm not a 7-OH user. I don't have any issues with it. I'm obviously friends with people that take it and whatnot. And I don't think it should be banned. And I don't understand why they're going so hard against it. That was always my thinking with that. So whenever I would make videos and say, I'm not for bans, I'm not for I would get slammed because I wasn't against.
I will say you can't
and a lot of
meeny, miny, mo the alkaloids. Like,
and most of the people say that, I'm sorry, Amanda, most of these people say that they're not prohibitionists and they don't believe in prohibition, but then it's the but ...
I call BS on that.
Yes. And then, so how, you know, you are or you aren't, you know, and there are things out there that I wouldn't want out there either, but then you have to then regulate it, or, you know, I suppose it would depend on what it was, but we also hear this thing about, well, if cocaine or heroin was sold at the corner store, would you be for that? If it was regulated, I was. If it was age gated and restriction and it was safe, and if somebody wants to go pick that up, that's not my business. If it was legalized with the, everything behind it that would
Well,
make
it's like
it
mushrooms
safe
are
for
becoming
people.
legal in places now,
That's
it's
what
like,
I mean.
and you're
Right,
allowed
that's
to
what I mean.
therapeutically dose at your discretion.
Right. That's perfect
Right.
example of what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
Look
I
at
don't
the
get it.
marijuana industry. For
Exactly.
how long
Exactly.
it was a fight. You could not consume marijuana, period.
Right.
Now suddenly it's legal in
There's
so
stores
many
everywhere.
For decades.
Yeah.
And I supported all those people that were actually essentially taking it illegal. It wasn't legal in any capacity. And, I still supported them for their right to do what they needed to do, but it wasn't legal. And people are still in prison for it. It doesn't send people to prison anymore, but it certainly did then. And there are still people in prison for small amounts that was for personal use. And they put charges on them and they're still there. And I hope those get overturned because that's not how it is today. So
yeah,
let's get to the point is. Oh, sorry. I was just going to say the point is you're an adult, you're old enough to make decisions and what you put in your body. And I believe in that. And I don't believe in the bans. And I think that's the biggest thing about that is you make your decisions, but you need to be held accountable for your decisions too. And if someone can't handle certain things, you can't blame it on a plant or on us for that,
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I despise alcohol, but you don't see me out here screaming that it should be outlawed.
Right. Right. We all have things that we don't like, but it's like we want people to have access to things as grown adults. And if things were causing issues with kids because it's so easily accessible, that'd be different. But that we don't hear about that with 7. We don't hear about that with Kratom, even though the media likes to say Kratom is sold to kids, and it's so ridiculous. Mike, I know he has a question with 7.0, but we can't really answer that on here. If anybody wants to respond to him in the chat, that's fine. I want to get some more videos because like Soren has like a whole good segment here. There's just not enough time to do it because there's some documentaries, y'all, that we got to watch that were on there. But let me play some. I might just cut because this is like 4 minutes long or 3 minutes. Let me play this.
I know, or I had another question for you that I saw you wanting to go.
I do. I mean, because it's to address the question that I already know that so many in the people who are scared because Kratom has helped them so much, who have swallowed hook, line, and sinker the proposition that we have to ban 7-hydroxymetragediene in order to protect Kratom. They're going to say, well, we just ban the next analog, and we'll ban the next analog. This is what has to be done in order to save Kratom, and that premise is ridiculous. In China, for example, they go so far as to execute chemists and drug dealers, people who iterate on new substances. That doesn't stop them from trying to satisfy the demand that exists on the market for these novel compounds in a state of extreme prohibition and extreme lockdown, and a state that uses capital punishment as a way to deter people. In the United States, we lock people up for life for distribution and manufacturing of compounds. We still have drugs being sold on the streets. We still have a proliferation of analogs. The premise that we can increase police powers in order to stop this, in order to curtail the drug market in the exact way that we want it and keep it alcohol, tobacco, and Kratom now, I guess, is
certain form. Right.
Yeah, it's a ludicrous proposition that we'll be able to stop the proliferation of analogs and then the harm that's going to come from that by increasing police powers. And just so everyone in the Kratom space is very much aware, someone who's been following it for a very long time, very in depth, the media, the one thing you can count on the media when they're reporting on drugs is they're going to get it wrong. If there is a chlorinated, brominated, fluorinated, whatever monstrosity of a analog of these parent compounds that proliferates, and it starts hurting people, God forbid, the media will say Kratom is killing people because that is the reliable element of the media. There isn't a politically advantageous way that one drug really can separate itself from another drug, because the media at the end of the day will say drug killing people, and maybe they'll say Kratom killing people. We have to come together. We have to stop the nonsense and the harms associated with prohibition. We have to get rid of this from our vocabulary, period, and start over again with adult conversations saying, hey, I recognize your bodily autonomy to do such and such a thing. How can I help you do this safely? How can we empower other people to do this so they don't have to go through dangerous avenues in order to satisfy whatever the hell it is within them as a unique person that makes them crave some sort of subtle alteration of their consciousness.
I love that.
I want to just.
Wasn't that good?
He
I love Soren.
Nailed it.
He really did.
Better than anyone else I've heard.
He really absolutely nailed it. And that's why I wanted to make time to play. There's so many of these that are so good. But we got to play. The next up I want to play, there's a documentary. Because again, this stuff just like opened up my eyes to so much that I just didn't know about before. And I really appreciate that Seven Hope Alliance put on an event, very ambitious. Let's do a 7-hour live stream. It was very impressive.
And so quickly.
Very quickly. But you know what was so cool about what they did or what they do as an organization? They bring people together in their community, and it's uplifting. Like, yes, I've been to a couple of their webinars. So what I still don't understand why I get called out on that in our Kratom community. Like, it's some kind of gotcha, Madeline. We saw, well, first of all, I'm not going to do an anonymous name. That's juvenile. What, but I'm not allowed. Like, the AKA doesn't hire me to work for them. I don't work for any of them. Like, but I can't, as a Kratom consumer and allied to the 7OH community, go to their webinars. But I love how their webinars are so uplifting, and let's bring the community together. Now, I'm somebody that's been building online communities since the 90s. So like, that's part of my wheelhouse of experience. And I was curious, like, how are they bringing advocates and community together? When we go to the webinars on our side, they're just yelling and screaming and some information, but it's never like, hey, everybody, let's all rally together and let's help each other and let's do this. I never walk away. I actually don't hardly go to those anymore because they're such a downer, and I don't like that at all. And so it is interesting how they're so different from each other.
Their level of professionalism is bar none.
Absolutely.
I think that's what has impressed me the most with Seven Hope is their level of professionalism and inclusivity. That's what everyone should be striving for.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So this was a documentary they showed. I'm going to play it from Hart, the Hart group, which is another 7OH advocacy group. And it's so interesting. I'm so glad that I caught so much of this, but I'm just showing this stuff because, look, nobody in our Kratom community has to watch any of this. So if you're not liking the content today, then all good, But I find this interesting, and I'm learning so much, even though I'm a natural Kratom consumer. I mean, are y'all liking this? Like, look, if y'all rather not watch any of this, I can play other videos.
No, not at all. Love it.
No, I think it's good. It's educational, and people need to listen and see it. Yep.
Yeah, and it's good. But I will tell you, I'm really on pins and needles waiting for the Chris Bell again. That one was.
It is so
good to see that. So I'm excited for that one.
It is so. Not only the Chris. So has anybody here seen it? Has anybody seen it yet? Okay, it is so good, and it was debuted at this event that Seven Hope put out. And we're going to get to it a little later. If anybody can't stay, just check the replay of our show later. But also after that, the interview with Hamilton Morris, and it is phenomenal. I wish there was time to play all of it, but it's like half an hour long. I'm going to play some clips. He's just so interesting, and his take on prohibition, eye-opening stuff. So I'm glad everybody is enjoying the discussion today. I mean, a little bit off our usual beaten path, but it's just great info. So I'm going to play this documentary. It is about 15 minutes long, but it's really good. So let's watch this together.
The government is taking aim at 7OH.
You have just days left to dispose of your 7-OH products.
7-0 is very often misunderstood.
7-OH started to cut into Kratom's business, and that's when the moral panic started about 7-OH.
Messaging, stay away from it. It's going to make you psychotic or kill you.
I'm plain talk. I'm plain spoken. It's outright lies. Here's something that's about as natural natural gets.
It would more appropriately be characterized as an herbal supplement.
Ban it. Oh, it makes them feel good? Ban it.
It's a really positive force in my life. I can be present and not be in pain.
Within less than 30 minutes, my anxiety eased up. My moral compass is back in line.
I think we're worried about the wrong things. My 7-0, it helps me.
It's not just a matter of what works and what's safe. It's also a matter of who gets paid.
Big Pharma and the American Kratom Association, it's cutting into everybody's profits.
They don't like that. I can understand that. I wouldn't like it either.
It's nothing more than greed.
What happened here?
People think you can't wreck a tank. Let me tell you, I can break anything. I'm a retired railroader and a U.S. Army veteran.
He just lays there.
Hush. You stop. What are you chuffing for? He's the biggest baby. He's just chuffing. Good throw. In the course of my military service, in my deployment to Egypt as part of Operation Bright Star, there was an issue with some civilians. Let's see. Let me redo it. Let's see. There's a lot of nightmares and sleep issues and rampant insomnia. When I first got out, I actually applied to the railroad, Norfolk Southern Railroad. There was a train accident, and at which point me and my conductor were thrown about the inside of the locomotive. There's nothing padded inside the locomotive. It's all metal. And so we got banged up pretty good. I had multiple surgeries. I had 3 on my right knee, 2 on the right shoulder. After each surgery, of course, I was given opioids. That 40 years old, they told me that I was done and retired. So, and then they hand you these pills, and then they say, go sit down. Go take these pills and sit down. It's a heck of a thing to go sit on the couch at 40 years old when you've been as active as I've been. Oh, yeah. That'll get us where we want to go. So the downfall was rapid and severe. If I did 2 to 3 years on hydrocodone, and I did 1 year to 2 years on oxycodone, I didn't make it 6 months on fentanyl. Within the first 3 months, I had OD'd at least once. Within 6 months, I was arrested and had legal trouble. Biggest regret. And there's a lot. I let my family down, a great deal of shame there. That, you've hurt your wife, whom you love more than anything. And of course, your kids who look at you like you hung the moon. And then, you're their hero and you let them down. It's tough. It's a tough road to hoe. Let's break up for that one. Yeah. I'm struggling. There's good times and bad times, but I'm on a real bad time. I'm struggling with my sobriety and I'm almost in a panic. And I had tried Kratom before when I was in active addiction. I was willing to give it one more try. So I went to the shop, to the vape shop. I believe that the gentleman that worked there, knew I was struggling with addiction and using. And the gentleman told me about this product, and he called it a 7-tab, and he was explained that it was 7-OH, and it's a alkaloid in kratom, and that it works. He said it works for me. Took that thing as soon as I hit the parking lot, and it was within less than 30 minutes. My anxiety eased up, my desire, the fact that my next stop was probably going to be a dealer's house, that thinking stopped. And within 45 minutes, my pain lessened. I was just normal, I was just me. I think the propaganda and the push to ban it is coming from Big Pharma, and the American Kratom Association is making the push. It's cutting into everybody's profits. It boils down to comes to lobbying the government. There's a lot of people suffering. There's families that, if I'm going to fight for truth and liberty and freedom, in my younger days, I'm going to do it now. Papa used to say, the truth will stand when the world's on fire. And so I feel, let truth have its day.
The messaging has been, it's going to make you psychotic or kill you. Go with the pharmaceuticals. Kratom is a tropical tree native to Southeastern Asia. It's in the coffee family. And kratom leaf has been used for centuries in Southeastern Asia as traditional medicine. So the kratom leaf contains two major psychoactive alkaloids, mitragynine and 7-hydroxymitragynine, or 7-OH. 7-OH is much more potent than kratom. Once 7-OH binds to the opioid receptor, it partially activates that receptor, which leads to pain relief, mood elevation, and sense of well-being. We don't know the full range of risk associated with 7-OH in the same way that we do with the kratom plant. The approach should be to study it. And while we're studying it, the FDA can certainly educate the public on it, regulate it, and protect public health without scaremongering. There is a drug hysteria promoted by powerful financial interests. Anytime you have a substance that people are taking so that they can get off of pharmaceuticals, then you're working against the interests of Big Pharma. It's not just a matter of what works and what's safe, it's also a matter of who gets paid.
This is one of the pages I put together for my sister. These are some flowers we had gotten at a zoo trip when we were really little. She was my baby doll. She was the first person that I ever felt a sense of responsibility for. Megan was my younger sister. She was 9 years younger. She struggled with mental health issues and on and off with some drug use pretty young into her life. And unfortunately bought some illicit substances that were laced with fentanyl. So my sister was killed by a banned substance. That's from the Spirit ticket that she was supposed to come home but didn't make it. So I've struggled with anxiety and insomnia my entire life, and it affects every aspect of your life. I feel like things are kind of coming at me at 100 miles an hour. I started using 7-O probably 2 years ago, and it's cheaper, it's easier to use than Kratom, it tastes better. So I kind of switched over from using the powdered leaf to using like 7-O tablets. I've tried Zoloft, I've tried Ambien. Ambien had a lot of really bad side effects, sleepwalking and things like that, so that didn't work for me. I've been prescribed like Xanax, and it was a little too strong for me. I take a small dose in the morning, and it's kind of like my morning cup of coffee. It wakes me up, it kind of gets me moving. It just kind of gives me like a focus and a clarity. And then in the evening, when I get home, I take a higher dose, and it kind of helps me relax and helps me kind of fall asleep. And that's how I use it. East Cleveland is pretty infamous in Northeast Ohio for having a high crime rate and very little resources. I do have a degree in social work. I started in shelters in 2014, and I've seen everything from poverty to drug addiction to child abuse, kind of the people that get left behind by society, I suppose you could say. And I've never seen anybody that their biggest problem was something wasn't banned. I think that some lawmakers have really good intentions. I do. I think we have been dealing with drug policy in America this way. Oh, ban it. Oh, it makes them feel good, ban it. And we've been doing it that way over and over and over again. So I think it's just breaking out of that cycle. And I really think Kratom and 7-0 is a good opportunity to do that.
Chris. 708 started to cut into Kratom's business, and that's when all of a sudden the moral panic started about 708. Instead of taking a whole bunch of Kratom, I could take this small amount of 708 and get the same effect. Banning 708 based on scattered anecdotes and fear won't make people safer. It'll just push them toward much more dangerous alternatives. War on drugs is America's longest and most unsuccessful war. It's been going on, at least the current iteration of the war on drugs has been going on at least since 1970. Overdoses continue to go up, and newer and more dangerous and deadly drugs are constantly coming in to the drug supply. The harder the enforcement, the harder the drug. And economists will tell you it makes absolute sense because it incentivizes whoever is marketing the illegal substance to come up with more potent forms. So, for example, during the days of alcohol prohibition, they weren't smuggling in beer and wine, they were smuggling in whiskey and, the hard spirits. There have been a total of 233 what they call Kratom-related deaths. What the CDC tells us is that roughly, I think it was 79% of the Kratom-related overdose deaths in the toxicology reports, they found multiple other substances, including alcohol, fentanyl, benzodiazepines, Benadryl. Not only can you not say it caused the death, you don't even know if it played a role in it. People have found a way to treat their pain and anxiety and PTSD. They believe it's making their life better. Why do you want to make their choice more dangerous?
I am concerned about the proposed banning of 7-OH. I have had chronic pain since I was a child. I've spent over half a decade trying to manage my pain, and nothing has been more effective for managing it than 7-OH has. Being a young person with chronic pain, most people my age don't understand what that's like. I've always wanted to write a memoir so that other people can kind of, I don't know, like I can help other people in my situation. I think it would be a really great thing because I've read memoirs from other people with my condition. I feel so, I don't like feeling alone, and those make me feel not alone. I have advanced Sjogren's syndrome, which is an autoimmune disorder. I had to advocate for myself for 10 years before I was listened to. And I had to get to a point of, I can't use my hand anymore. And strength is never going to come back. And I'm going to have chronic pain for the rest of my life. I turned to alcohol to cope with my chronic pain, and I drank a lot, and sometimes I couldn't get up for work, and it made me erratic and sad and angry, and I had to drink a lot to be numb. I've tried dozens of remedies, of medications, and Botox, stretching, exercising. Nothing works like 7-OH. I can be present and not be in pain. I think that the 7-OH ban could actually cause a lot of suicides, genuinely, because of the statistics for people with chronic pain and suicide. If I had one thing to say to lawmakers, I would ask them to take a step back and look at all of the statistics and look at how many people 7-OH has helped, and listen to people with chronic pain, listen to the people that are recovering addicts, listen to their stories.
When things are banned, they get more dangerous. Is that going to happen with 7-0? Is it going to get banned and then become dangerous, but then nobody will be paying attention anymore?
There's people dying with addiction, and this is an important part in harm reduction. Not only does it put lives in danger, but if the ban and schedule goes through, that prevents it from being studied. And studying is really what we need to do. Let's do right by these people.
Wow. 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 What did you
Okay.
guys think? Right?
Man, wasn't that
That was
moving?
amazing. So well done.
Informative and
Yes.
moving. Oh, that
Very.
young girl's story at the end just gets me. Oh,
Yeah.
And to me, those are the same words, the same sentiment, the same beliefs that we used in 2016 and that we've used since then. The medium may change, but the story doesn't.
yeah. It's so weird how 10 years ago it was Kratom, almost exactly 10 years ago, and now it's 7-OH. And just like 10 years ago with Kratom, it was a 30-day notice from the federal government, and then you had the Federal Register. How many people signed the Federal Register back then? Do you remember?
I did.
What was the number? What did it? Because right now on the Federal Register for this 7-OH potential ban, there's 21,833 comments received on the Federal Register at the government, and they have to review it all. Like, they have to go through all that. Wasn't there was it like 30,000 or so?
I think it was a bit more.
I think it was
I
more
think it was
than
like
that.
31,000 or 37,000.
It was quite a bit.
I should know that number, but I don't.
And so
This
this
is
is close.
Did their own, and they had 6,000 or something signatures on theirs too, and but you know what we just watched there. I'm not the only one who feels blessed. I use the word blessing a lot for both Kratom and 7. Other people are also, you know, whatever word we want to put on it, say saving our lives or a blessing or grateful. It is helping many more people than, you know, we've been led to believe. We're only hearing the side of the people who have trouble with it, and that's not to dismiss their side, but we have to be able to raise the voices of the side that it's also being helped, and that's us.
I just looked up the numbers. More than 145,000 signatures on a public petition helped stop the federal ban on Kratom. And letters from over 50 members of Congress, thousands of public comment, and that was in 2017. Over 145,000.
Signatures were way up.
Yeah.
But actual comments, I think, were in the 30,000.
Yeah, I know the signatures is more than what the comments is as well. But I mean, you know what? All of those numbers speak something, you know, and And, these are all, people that are, coherent and cognitive and,
right.
All in their faculties preaching,
Right.
they're, it's sad that everybody has been forced to come out and speak on it, because a lot of people do have to keep some of their lives private, because of the ridicule that they get, doctors, lawyers, vets, you name it. But I'm glad people are starting to come out and speak out. I hate that everybody's being forced the way that they are, because we shouldn't be in this position already,
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, and just a reminder for anybody that just joined us, like all of us here consume natural kratom, and Amanda and Twinkle, in addition, also use 7-OH, and actually y'all both have been comfortable enough to talk about it here that has really enlightened a lot of us. Now, because I'm playing these clips from the 7 Hope Alliance live stream this week and that documentary, and there'll be a Chris Bell documentary coming up, it doesn't mean we're advocating for people to use 7-OH, just like we don't sit here and advocate for people to go run out and go buy kratom. We're sharing experiences, we're sharing our insights, we're having a roundtable discussion, not a debate forum. And it's just interesting. I'm learning a lot. Does that mean I go out and buy something? No, not necessarily. I mean, if somebody is learning and educating themselves here today and they're like, you know what, I want to try this stuff. Okay, that's we're in a free world here. Go ahead,
Right. And if they don't, then they're already educated. They know all about it. So if they go see it.
That's the key, because what we're trying to do is educate people on all of this stuff. One of the issues we have in the kratom community is there's not enough education. I don't understand why the advocacy groups don't do. When I say that, Robin, I never mean botanical advocacy.
I know that.
I'm talking about the other two. I'm just not trying to give them, much airtime from me, because it's just not even worth it. But I'm just saying, why is there not more effort on educating? It's like the public needs to be educated more. The government officials need to be educated more. And I get accused of I've sided with the 7-O community. No, what I do is I'm trying to be an ally, even though I can 7-OH. But if you go back and look at my social media, just look here on the YouTube, for the last 2 years, since this emergence of 7-OH, I've been go to my TikTok where I have a whole bunch of them. I've been making countless videos trying to educate people the difference between the two. And there's not enough of that. We need more people in the kratom community doing that. I'm not saying y'all aren't. There are other advocates that aren't. Instead of yelling and saying 7-O is bad, why don't you just educate people what the difference is? Instead of everything being so negative, talk about these are two different products. And I don't understand why you keep having the lobbyists keep saying over and over that the lawmakers don't understand the difference. That's what they should be doing, is working with them to make sure
that's
they
what their job
understand.
is to educate them differently. And they're not educating them on anything. They're just being like, this is bad, and this is what, and just this, like what is so bad?
Seeing Dr. Swager, who has always been a huge voice in the kratom community, speak on this documentary has got to open some eyes for people, because he has been looked up to for many, many years for the work he has done for the kratom community.
And I generally don't answer questions, because I'm not going to tell somebody to take kratom or 7 or extracts or any of it. I'll share my experience, but this time in the live chat, I did answer a question. So what I'm trying to tell somebody, if you're going to take it, then you find out how that's going to affect you. Don't take the whole tablet. Well, I didn't go as far as to say that, but basically microdose that and keep it very low, and don't
always start low.
Take absolutely. So if somebody is going to, then I need to educate them on this tiny micro amount. And then you will know, because we're all different, if it's going to give you an effect at all. I'm not looking for an effect. other than feeling better. I need pain relief and I need to feel better. So that's my effect. And I don't prefer any kind of, feeling from it beyond that. But still, if somebody did want a feeling from it, then you still would want to go really low, because at the amount I take, I'm not getting that.
But we're not medical
We
professionals. We're just
we
sharing
have to make
personal
sure
experience.
that's right. And so
Yeah,
I
but
will
thank you for
probably
sharing
never
that.
answer that again, because we're at the end of it now. It's no sense anybody going to buy it now. I wouldn't refer somebody to that. It'd be best to wait and see and follow the learning and the education, before.
It's just like with plain
responsibility.
leaf. Always, with plain leaf, we all preach, start slow, take a log, keep track of what you've, taken, how it's made you feel. That way, that's a form of accountability. You know what's working for you. You know what's not working for you. I find that is a huge help. And I tell that with anybody, always start. And I think that's with any botanical that you're going to take that's out there. Always start low. It's so different than a pharmaceutical or an illicit substance where people think I have a high tolerance. That's not how it goes with either, extract or plain leaf. It doesn't matter if you have a high tolerance to other things. It's so different. Start low with everything and and everything you take, make sure it's lab tested.
Yes, very important.
Yeah.
Very important. Well, thank you for sharing all of that. And thank you to all the people here live. We got all these people hanging out with us live today on a Saturday afternoon. Appreciate it. We have so many longtime supporters that come here every Saturday to hang out with us in the Kratom community. We appreciate that. And I know we got a lot of new viewers this week. A lot of people saw me and the Kratom Gals on the Seven Hope Alliance live stream. Great event. I was just so impressed with how much knowledge I walked away with, the caliber of speakers they had, and how it just came off like it was so flawless.
It was phenomenal. That is how you educate your community and you give everybody space and knowledge. People are saying, what's the science? What's this?
Yeah.
There you go. We're the
There
science.
it
It's
is.
all there. Thank you, Hart and 7-0 for, and 7 Hope for doing that, because this community, as a Kratom community, that's what we are, because all alkaloids come from Kratom.
Right.
As a Kratom community, we need more positive things like what they just did, because this community, I didn't get to participate in much of it. I got to see a little bit of your first time on there, Madeline, and just a little bits that I did see. Phenomenal job, literally phenomenal job. I saw Twinkle on there as well. It was so good, and people were so receptive to just listening, even if they had never taken 7. The education was what, this is what we keep saying. We need education. The fact that that's out there, do they have a link to watch that whole video?
They do.
Okay,
it's on Facebook.
Yeah.
The live is still on the Facebook.
Perfect.
Rewatch it.
X and
It's
YouTube.
on X.
Perfect. I'm going to watch it.
Yes.
Yeah, because there's so much, especially Hamilton. I mean, Hamilton alone.
He's so smart.
Yeah, and they had said they probably would have a lot tuning in just because he was, going to be a guest speaker on there. And I mean, just the knowledge that he brings it's phenomenal. I'm grateful for them doing what they did.
Chris Bell.
Oh yeah. Many don't realize, they're not seeing immediate actions, immediate happenings, but they're really behind the scenes, doing this documentary of, you can call it, of sorts, this great educational video. They're educating our lobbyists. They are educating, our senators and our Congress, so they aren't banning this, because they're like, okay, wait, this isn't what is being said by another, organization or other people, or the media. This is really not what's being said. Let's take a moment and pause and really look at it. So I'm grateful that they are really coming up and being a voice for this community, because this is exactly what we need. And it's brought everyone together. It's not strictly extracts. It's everyone as a whole in the Kratom community.
I love
it's
that.
this whole plan, everything that was created or, derived from the Kratom plant.
Yeah.
And 7. Kratom
Yeah.
and 7.
Yeah. Let me play some more. So we're going to get to the Chris Bell documentary. It's so good. They premiered it on this live stream this week. But first, I'm just going to just play very short because in case people don't know. So they had me on as a special guest, as an ally. And then later they had me, Venus, and Twinkle on as guests together as the Kratom Gals. I'll just play a little bit of the beginning of both. And it was so interesting looking at where it is in the timestamps. All you have to do is go to Seven Hope Alliance's YouTube and they got all the timestamps, but mine is at 3:03:03. So 3 hours, 3 minute, 3 second mark is where mine starts. And guess what time the Kratom Gals at the 5:03:41 mark. So literally like 2 hours to the minute at 3:03 and 5:03.
That's awesome.
Wow.
That's like a sign, the whole numbers thing. Like,
yeah,
that's interesting. So let me play. I'm just gonna play it because we don't have time to do a whole. Because there's so much more. Because I want to play the entire Chris Bell documentary. It's 15 minutes long, and I got some amazing interview clips from when Hamilton Morris was on at the end, and he was phenomenal. So let me play a little bit of this.
Amazing, remarkable woman that many of you already know. Her name is Madeline Sklar, and Madeline has a podcast on well, I think it's on all, she'll tell us in a minute here, but I think it's on all of the various channels that you can do, but she educates, she advocates, she shares industry news and real life consumer experiences through all these platforms, through the Kratom Stories podcast and the Kratom Gals. And so with that, I would love to introduce Madeline Sklar. Madeline, can you please join us?
Yay! Hey! Good to see you.
Hi.
Thank you for having me. I'm so impressed with what y'all are doing here.
Oh,
wow.
Man. This is so amazing. Thank you so much for joining us today. You are, in my mind, a leader in the voice here. You have spent, obviously, you'll tell us, but you spent many years working and fighting for Kratom and Kratom users and consumers, and we couldn't be happier about that. And we are super, super, super excited to have you join us here today. So Madeline, for the people who don't know you, let's tell them who you are. Who are you and why are you here?
Yeah, well, I've been a Kratom consumer for 7 years, and it's a plant that's changed my life. And so I'm gonna stop it here. So y'all can, if anybody wants to go watch the interview in its entirety, just go over to their YouTube channel and catch that. I'm going to play a little bit of the Kratom Gals so y'all can see us gals on screen for a moment. And that was so much fun doing that together as the three of us. Sometimes
it was a blast.
Yeah, I'm so glad we were able to do that. They invited us, so let me play a little bit of this.
So I'm bringing back on Madeline and all of the.
And keep in mind, Wednesday's internet, as you can see, very distorted there. She had the tropical storm hitting them in New Orleans when she was interviewing us. So her internet kept cutting out. She was a little bit delayed with her audio talking to us. And yeah, so, but Trooper through it all and wasn't going to let that big tropical storm stop her.
Kratom Gals. So if they can all join me on here. Thank you, Madeline. Hi, Twinkle. It's great to have you. And Venus,
Madeline.
Welcome, all of you.
Hi, thank you.
So happy to have you guys here. I've spent some time with you guys, and I've known you all for a long time, and it's great to just have us all together here in this one spot for this great cause. So how are you guys today?
Good. Trying to get.
That's good.
Can y'all hear me okay? I think my mic.
Yes. Very excited to be here. And to see the chat is just, it's going crazy. I love it.
On fire. It's on fire.
It's been blowing up all
amazing.
day. It is.
Okay, I'll stop here. Y'all can go back and watch it. And Twinkle, tell everybody again what your shirt from Seven Hope Alliance that you wore every time you went to the state capitol in California. What does your shirt say?
Save Kratom and 7-0. And the back says, stop the bans, regulation, not prohibition.
Yeah, because they advocate for all Kratom at their platform there. All right, y'all ready for the Chris Bell documentary? I made y'all wait.
We
But
are.
it is
I am.
further in.
I
I'm trying to
am.
kind of do this in order. So this just, I mean, it got played for the first time anywhere on this live stream this week. And I asked if I could play it on here from their show. And they said yes. So this is so good. So this is, for those that don't know, Chris Bell did a phenomenal documentary that came out in 2019 that was the start of my Kratom journey, was finding that documentary. It's called A Leaf of Faith. Showed up in my, let me tell the story real quick. It showed up in my Netflix. I just lost access to my pain management doctor. He wasn't going to prescribe his patients anymore with the opiates. And I didn't know what to do, and no other doctor would take over. And I'm thinking, what do I do? What am I going to do for pain relief? True story. I'm on Netflix one night, and up comes this A Leaf of Faith. And it was interesting. It looked interesting to me. I watched the trailer, but the picture for the film was a pill bottle with a plant coming out of it. And I thought, well, this looks interesting. So I watched it, and I could not believe Chris Bell in the documentary kept saying that Kratom was helping people with pain. So that was my introduction to Kratom. That's where I first learned about it. That was the first time I ever heard of it. And it's available on YouTube now. It's not on Netflix anymore. So if anybody wants to watch the documentary, I highly recommend it. It's so good. It's on YouTube. So A Leaf of Faith, Leaf, L-E-A-F, A Leaf of Faith. So this is his brand new documentary. I don't know if there's going to be a full-length documentary. This is just 15 minutes long. But he made a film. So this is the latest. So let's watch this. Can't wait to see what y'all think of this.
First of all, people don't know, Chris produced and what did you direct it and produce it, and Bigger, Stronger, Faster and Prescription Thugs. But you wanted to come in and talk about Kratom.
Sure. Kratom has 27 alkaloids that work like opiates. They attach to opiate receptors, but not in the same way. If you look at Oxycontin, when it attaches to an opiate receptor, it's like screwed in basically. With the Kratom, though, it kind of drifts around the top of that opiate receptor. Opiates attach 1,000 times greater to the opiate receptor than anything found in nature, and Kratom's found in nature.
So where's the pressure coming from to turn this stuff into a Schedule I drug?
My name is Chris Bell. I'm a documentary filmmaker, and that was an interview from 2016 when I went on Joe Rogan's podcast to talk about how Kratom saved my life and millions of others from living a life on prescription opioids.
What a weird situation. So we really need you, Chris. this documentary is actually important.
And afterward, the outcry was unprecedented. 24,000 people flooded the DEA's open comment website, and they backed down. They told me that they had never seen anything like it. We won the battle. But now, it's been 10 years, and the problem is back because Kratom has been turned into something stronger. A substance called 7-OH.
A widely available supplement that is sold in a lot of smoke and vape shops across Tampa Bay. 7-OH.
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 They become known as gas station heroin.
The 7-OH stuff is just a small part of the Kratom plant, but it's so powerful. This all began with people fighting to ban Kratom.
It was too easy to get this drug.
But now those same people are back fighting to ban 7-O. But it may not be for the same reason.
The FDA is moving to restrict a substance experts say is 13 times more potent than morphine.
7-OH has been dubbed legal morphine by state officials.
It's a compound that can be found in tablets, gummies, drink mixes, and shots.
What is the message you want to send to America right now about these products?
It kills people.
But advocates are saying it's saving lives.
This is actually maybe has more potential than it does for pain and opioid replacement.
There have not been any deaths attributed to 7-OH.
So who's telling the truth?
Florida is now the first state to ban 7-OH products.
We want to work together to fund more research, to learn more, so everyone can take these plant-based alternatives safely.
We think everybody in this industry ought to be cognizant of the safety for consumers. If we're not, we're lost souls. We need to defend the consumer.
Is 7-OH something America needs to fear, or is it something millions of people quietly rely on just to feel normal again? That's what I'm here to find out. Because America is still drowning in pain. To understand 7-OH, we need to start in Thailand. This is where a plant known as Kratom grows. Kratom has been used for centuries for pain, energy, and mood. When you take kratom, your body converts part of it into 7-hydroxymetragenine, or 7-OH, the compound responsible for most of its effects. Eventually, extract makers learned how to concentrate that compound into potent pill forms, stronger, faster, more direct. People switched almost overnight, and the industry started shifting away from traditional kratom toward this concentrated version.
This industry didn't exist in 23. From 24 until now, it's somewhere between $9 and $10 billion a year in revenue.
That's when the controversy started. A natural plant remedy had evolved into something far more powerful.
The federal government is looking to ban a product that they say is targeting kids and linked to addiction. 7-O, a concentrated byproduct of the kratom plant.
Earlier this year, the FDA announced that they want to ban 7-OH.
Branded as a natural way to relieve pain and anxiety, but what they won't tell you is that people are dying from it.
People are claiming it is deadly.
I've been trying to educate and speak out about these products for a while.
People are saying it will hook you in a week.
I thought I could quit on my own. I definitely could not. I've sought treatment a couple times. This is my last time.
7-OH carries a high risk of addiction. It is a powerful opioid agonist, many times more potent than morphine. These substances are often sold online or in convenience stores with no quality control, no dosage control, and no warnings. This is a recipe for public health disaster.
People are saying it needs to be banned.
Florida became the first state to make it illegal to sell 7-OH.
7-OH needs to be off of the shelves.
It was too easy to get this drug. They're putting them around schools, they're putting them in our poorest neighborhoods, and now they're putting them in every gas station. We're going to stop this before it starts.
But here's the thing. The people shouting the loudest all sell kratom. When 7-OH hit the market, kratom sales dropped in some cases as much as 50 to 60%. And just like that, the narrative changed. The industry that defended kratom started warning the world that 7-OH was dangerous. And yes, there are people online trying to quit 7-OH.
I felt kind of loopy, an extremely addictive opioid. This is a product that I have close friends that are extremely addicted to. This shit is bad.
This is something that is a lifeline for some people and is becoming a disaster for others.
It is just like any other addictive opioid. It's just like being addicted to oxys, being addicted to perks, being addicted to heroin.
It is an opioid, and yet you can go in a vape shop in America and buy it like a cup of coffee.
It is everywhere. It's everywhere you turn. There's this distinction, I guess, between kratom and 7-OH, but is kratom ever safe?
But after hundreds of millions of doses, the data still doesn't match the level of panic. 7-O was created to give people stronger, more reliable relief, and the trade-off is clear. Greater potency can also be more habit-forming, which means greater responsibility.
The industry is known for chasing the stronger and stronger and stronger. So it went from 10 milligrams per tab to 20 to 40 to now when you pull up some of the more recent tabs are in market, you're going to see a pack of 4 tabs is 200 milligrams of 7-hydroxy.
Without regulation, abuse becomes very easy. So the real question is this about safety or is it about protecting money? To understand why 7-O even exists, I went to speak to the people who use it responsibly.
How did you find out about 7-OH?
My daughter actually had heard about it from someone, so she mentioned it, and we came and I tried it for the first time. I got more relief than I did from the oxycodone that I take 4 times a day.
How old are you?
95.
You're 95 years old?
Yes.
Wow. And how long were you on opioids for? 2 years, 2.5 years?
I was on the oxycodone for like half a year.
What do you use 7-OH for?
Chronic pains and prior injuries.
It helps quite a bit. I don't wake up from pain.
What happens if you don't take it?
Without that pill, my body will not lie still. I don't even get up in the middle of the night to go to the restroom. It's a blessing. I used to have some bad dreams, really bad. Now I have good dreams.
I had been looking for something for quite some time to take away the pain of my chronic muscle spasms in my back. I've been dealing with since I was about 23 years old.
You get up in the morning and getting out of bed alone I'm usually crying from the pain.
It started out helping for my restless leg syndrome, and then I found out how well it's helping my other stuff.
How much do you need for it to work?
I usually take one in the morning, and I'll take one in the afternoon when I start hurting again.
I take one in the morning, one at night.
You take only 2 a day.
So what does it do when you take it? How do you feel?
It's really been a game changer.
I couldn't believe it. I called my mom crying.
Just with that small amount, how much it affected my muscle and joint pain. It was just amazing.
It's been a miracle for me, literally. I get emotional about it, but it's really helped me.
I called everybody I knew and told them that I had finally found something to help me, because anybody who's important in my life knows how much this affects me.
These stories seem powerful, but the real concern is whether this drug is dangerous or addictive. Have you had any problems with it?
No, not at all.
Do you find that to be addictive or take more of it?
I personally haven't found that I'm building any kind of real tolerance to it.
There's no withdrawals, there's no side effects.
That's part of the reason why I don't use opioids anymore.
Yeah.
Because I had an issue with the habit-forming nature of the opioids.
Interesting. That's something I didn't expect, especially with all of the scare stories. So, if nobody is dying and calls to poison control are low for both Kratom and 7-0, why is the government stepping in? To answer that, we need to follow the money.
The government's trying to ban it. They just banned it in Florida. Now they're trying to ban it nationally.
What do you think happens if they ban this?
Means I'm going to have to go to the doctor, get back on painkillers.
I go back to not being able to make it through my 10-hour shift. That would be kind of detrimental to me, honestly.
I don't know what I'll do if they ban it.
I never want to see the day that I cannot get them. It just seems every time something's good, they have to put their hands in it and ruin it for everybody. Why would they want to ban it? Why? Because they're not getting any money from it? Think about the people for a change. Think of all of us.
For patients, 7-OH is the elevator. Stronger relief, faster onset, a new lease on life. But it is not just about personal stories. To really understand how 7-OH works, I needed to hear from the experts.
So for many years, Kratom was available and a lot of people started taking it. Then 2 years ago, 7-OH hit the market.
So 7-hydroxymetrogenine is a byproduct, actually an oxidation product of metrogenines. If somebody consumes a Kratom product, actually their liver enzymes and their gut enzymes will convert that metrogenine into 7-hydroxymetrogenine.
Mitragynine is a prodrug. The liver is creating metabolite 7-OH, and that's the real drug that is doing this.
Instead of having to take the whole leaf Kratom, people now only had to take the tablet to get all the benefit. And people started doing that.
Essentially, instead of taking handfuls of weaker Kratom, people started switching to the simpler pill form of 7-OH, easier to take, stronger in effect. That made sense. But what do these experts have to say about the dangerous claims of 7-OH?
Do you think 7-OH is a safe alternative to these drugs that the doctors are giving people?
No question. We have not found an LDL 50 level, meaning a lethal dose level.
7-OH has a limited potential for abuse. It is not a full agonist on the mu opioid receptor. It is only a partial agonist, and that means that it is not going to produce the respiratory depressant effect that makes heroin and fentanyl so dangerous.
I've got the reputation for looking at the science and being a blunt reporter of science. The science isn't there for overdose death. For 7-hydroxy, it's just not there. And I've seen the medical records.
The pharmacology shows that 7-O is safer.
At this point, we're down over 40% opioid deaths from 23. The only thing that's really changed is 7-OH suddenly appeared. 7-OH production goes up, the deaths fall. It's in sync time-wise. It's amazing.
Well, a historic moment in the fight to combat the opioid epidemic, with the CDC releasing new findings.
They're highlighting the largest one-year drop in drug overdose deaths.
The states where 7-OH is banned saw continued increases or flat in fatal opioid overdoses. Let's not ignore that data and what it's telling us. There is so much potential for 7-OH. Why should we short circuit that?
The kind of folks that I've studied for the last 10 years are people who have been in some way failed by the systems that we have in this country. And oftentimes they have chronic pain, they have psychiatric health issues, they have substance use disorders issues. And if you have more than one comorbidity, your odds of getting adequate treatment just go way, way, way down.
The numbers do not lie. As 7-OH production goes up, opioid deaths seem to fall. The science does not say it is deadly. The experience of these users do not say it's an issue, but the fight against it is louder than ever. You cannot ignore these voices. For one person, this saved their life. For another, it ruined theirs. The problem is that in an unregulated market, dosing is all over the place. Gas stations sell tablets starting at extremely high dosages with no guidance and no education. That is where things get messy.
The only mechanism of uniqueness is to make stronger and stronger products to fuck people up more.
And in that chaos, fear wins. But make no mistake, this is not just about safety, it is about money. The American Kratom Association and the Global Kratom Coalition take millions every year. They want Kratom to stay legal, and they want 7-OH gone so it doesn't swallow up their business. So the industry is at war with itself. Big Kratom versus 7-OH companies. Both sides claim they are protecting the public. Both sides say they are fighting for patients. But in the middle of this civil war are the actual patients. They are not in the rooms where deals get made. They are just people in pain.
I never want to see the day that I cannot give them.
People that finally found something that helped, and now they are being told that relief might be taken away.
The people that use it are the people that actually need it.
You know, I get emotional about it, but it's really helped me.
To have something as powerful, as meaningful as this is to society, to think that me standing up could make that difference. I'm in.
In 2 years of 7-OH being on the market, probably around 1 billion servings having been consumed, only 11 adverse events.
I'm not aware of any respiratory depression with Kratom or 7-OH.
If it really was an immediate public health crisis, you would see bodies in the street, but you're not.
So what now? I have seen these stories before. Steroids were demonized. Opioids were sold as safe. And now it is 7-OH. Every time, the story is less about science and more about control, power, politics, and profits. It's about picking a side. Big Kratom, 7-OH companies, regulators, critics. But millions of people are not picking sides. Kratom has helped them. It has saved millions of lives. In many states, they are trying to ban 7-OH and all other Kratom products. That means no more Kratom for anyone. Without access to these compounds, many people will be pushed back toward opioids and other dangerous street drugs. We need a real solution because no matter what, we are still living in a world of pain.
Wasn't that good? Oh my God.
Every time I watch it.
That was amazing.
Yeah, that was phenomenal.
Those stories were incredible. The 95-year-old lady, oh my God.
Yes, like this right here, like if this doesn't grab all the naysayers, like simple common sense and decency to see like this elderly woman is taking it and she's good. Like, come on, you guys.
Right.
Yeah.
She's making sense. We can understand what she's saying.
Yeah. Oh my
You
God.
made a good point with the companies too. With the companies, that is true. With some of the companies. Yeah,
I was really
because
glad to see him address that.
yes, me too. And I've seen that too. I've never been against 7-OH, and obviously some people are going to choose that versus natural, and it is what it is, right? People can make their own decisions, but there are some companies that are greedy and they're just picking sides just because of profits, which is wrong.
Yeah.
And that's a big part of it too.
And the very high milligram capsule tablet sizes too. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with these crazy large amounts, because even the person that thought they were doing it right and doing it in 4 pieces, that could potentially be still a very large serving at one time. If these are a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, very large amounts, that would still be a lot. So in my perfect world, I'd like to see 3, 5, and 10 milligrams in a perfect world. But then again, who am I to say that somebody can't have a 20 in one tablet? So, you got to you just got to consider the safety aspect of it. And but you know
what's interesting? Those stories were so insightful, and you can't tell me there's nobody that can watch what we just watched and say, oh, they're all addicted. Oh, they're
right.
If they're not having issues now, they're going to.
Right.
It's like, give me a break.
They're not having.
Yeah.
Right.
But we all understand, because for those of us in pain management taking very high doses of opiates, we were we weren't any, like, I know everybody's different. It didn't affect me negatively. Like I wasn't,
me neither.
I didn't feel high or loopy, and I know some people in the chronic community said their opiates made them all conked out and very different in life. It doesn't do that for everyone. It certainly didn't do that for, I mean, if it did to everyone, then I think we just see a lot of zombies in the world, with their opiates and with the amount of opiates out there.
See
And now
we see when we look at the people that are out there on the streets that are on the fettanol, that look like the, they're zombie creature walks. That's what we'd be seeing if this is what we were all, and
it's what we were originally told about Seven. The image, the picture we got in our minds back when I also wasn't sure about it, and was like, oh my gosh, what is going on here? I had that vision in my mind that people were falling over, that they couldn't even hold their heads up. They could not do anything because they were that inebriated. And I have not seen anybody like that.
Well, what's interesting? Okay, so in the Kratom community, they keep telling us, oh, this stuff is cooked up in a lab. 7-OH cooked up in a lab, blah, blah, blah. All this like it's so not true. Like, yes, there's going to be bad actors, just like in the Kratom industry. There's lots of bad actors.
That's right.
That are, creating stuff in their home and selling it, and you really don't know what you're getting. Sadly, those things happen across the board. But if we had common sense regulations, we wouldn't be having issues with anything. It would,
and if we hold those vendors accountable.
Exactly.
Because if
they're not doing business right, don't give them your money.
That's right.
Right.
Well, yeah, they need to be doing the right thing. And there was a vendor I used to buy Kratom from, and I don't anymore, because you know what? There's Facebook ads. And I know Kratom companies are not supposed to do this. Their Facebook are promoting Kratom for pain, and you're not allowed to do that as a Kratom company. And this is a big company that I learned about a long time ago, used to buy Kratom from, and I just don't anymore, because it's like they're not even following the rules. And that's not right. And nobody's calling them out.
Medical claims.
I've been
everything
these ads they've been running on Facebook for the last 2 years, and they're making medical claims all the time in these ads, and they're always like talking about pain in them. It's like, I think they know they're not supposed to do that. So
they know.
And that's a bad look
on
the industry, and that makes it look bad for companies like Sarah that are doing things right, but it makes the industry look bad.
It does. It makes the whole community look bad when they're not doing the way it should be done a certain way, and they should be professional. If they can't do it the right way, then don't do it.
Yeah, so that's why I don't support that company anymore, because I just like saying here, don't support or fund bad actors. Exactly. And that's the key.
And that goes for anything you purchase. We're not just saying this about 7-0 or Kratom. We're saying anything. Don't support people with your dollars, because that's what they count on. And if you're not giving them your dollars, they can't
stay in business
doing what they're doing.
Exactly, because you're helping them stay in business.
Especially in the gas stations. Just if we can't get them out, don't go in there and get it.
Exactly. All right, let's play some Hamilton Morris clips from. He had a great interview. I definitely recommend checking it out at your convenience. He was on for about 30 minutes, but I clipped 3 what I thought were really good parts to this. So let's play so we can start wrapping up. We've been here for 2 hours and 37 minutes. All right.
Wow.
Let's and for those who are not I mean, I know who Hamilton Morris is, but I'm sure one of y'all panelists here could probably do a much better introduction of who he is for somebody that doesn't know. How would you say who Morris Hamilton is? I mean, Hamilton Morris.
He's done the Hamilton Pharmacopoeia. He's done a lot of the what documentaries, a lot on basically a lot on plant medicine. When it really comes down to it, he does a lot of educate. He's fantastic. I'm excited to see
a lot of Kratom education back.
A lot of Kratom.
That was the word right there. He is an educator of extreme intelligence with no bias. I think that's what I like the most about him is he does not come into anything with a bias. He comes in, presents the facts, and lets you make your own determination. But he gives you all the facts, whether you want them or not.
And like he's like this guy that will go like out in the jungle and try that frog venom that some people like use to get high, and so like he'll just try all different kinds.
That frog venom I've heard wonderful things about too.
Yeah,
he's very medicinal purposes.
He's very interesting. And the connection with Soren Shade is it because when I had Soren Shade on my Kratom Stories podcast a few years ago, so Soren works with Hamilton Morris. He is his producer on Hamilton's Pharmacopoeia. And when I had him on my podcast, he was telling the story. That Soren was still in college at Columbia University, and he loved Hamilton Morris, and he wanted to work with him. And so he ended up coming on board as a producer. I think it was the second season of the TV show. And it's just fascinating that they're so into all of this plant medicine, different kinds of drugs and compounds, especially stuff in the forest. And that
kind of helps fight that stigma that people get bad things too,
and fighting prohibition.
That hasn't seen his stuff truly needs to go watch it. It gives you an entire new and better perspective on everything.
It really
I've
does.
always been so impressed with him.
You can just go, what people can do is go on YouTube and type in Hamilton Morris Kratom. He has some episodes he did of his show years ago. Then they're usually still floating around on YouTube. I remember when I first discovered Kratom, I'm like, I want to go find more stuff about this. I remember coming across some of his episodes, and it's very interesting. Going to the source, going to Southeast Asia. So let's play some clips because he's just a fascinating guy. So I'm going to start with this first one.
Think about it a little more. That's exactly the reason there is this idea that they fought so hard for this to be legal that they're afraid anything might interfere with that status. And what if these people who don't have it integrated into a religious tradition misuse it in some way, and that results in the reversal of this right that they fought so hard for? So they're doing it essentially out of fear. And I think that there's something very similar operating in the infighting in the Kratom world, where people think we fought so hard for this plant, we don't want to lose what we fought for by allowing people to have this other way of using it. But I think this is misguided. I understand where they're coming from. I understand why they think that this is a logical approach, but I don't think it's the appropriate one. And I think that ultimately what we've seen, I mean, it's already happened in Kansas. They've made Kratom illegal. This is a process that is irrational. If it were rational, they wouldn't have even tried in 2016 to begin with. This is like, of all the public health threats in this country, this is like truly not the major concern in terms of protecting people. So yeah, I'm glad to see that people are making their voices heard. I've been talking about it. I've been surprised that it's as controversial as it is, because my take on this has always been, it doesn't matter whether you like a drug personally, or even whether you think a drug is good or safe or anything like that. Prohibition is simply not an effective control strategy. It doesn't mitigate harms. It exacerbates harms. We've seen this again and again and again. And so even if you think that 7-hydroxymetragenine is a terrible substance, you still should be opposed to its prohibition, because prohibiting it is not going to make things better. I can say that with absolute certainty. Ask any chemist who knows even a tiny bit about this, and they will be able to name 50 things that could take its place, that will likely be less safe. And it's also going to interfere with valuable scientific research. If there are outstanding questions about exactly how it interacts with the mu-opioid receptor, or exactly what effects it may or may not have on respiration, which are very complicated to study, that's only going to get more difficult to study once this is prohibited. In fact, the tendency is for it to halt research entirely.
Okay, I'm gonna go to the next clip, but he makes such a great point there that if they schedule this, it makes it very difficult to study.
Yeah, but McCurdy went and got his Schedule and license before
He
all
did,
this
so
came out.
It seems like it won't really affect them, right? Because
No, of course he'll be able to do whatever he wants
because they went and did that. So yeah, quite interesting with that part. The thing is, because this isn't a 7-hour live stream, it's hard. You can't really get the timestamp right where you want it for clips. So we're gonna have to hear a little bit before I think it's gonna be a little bit before the part that I have. Is just, I'm just going to play this section, but a little ways into this is where he starts talking about. So it might be in the middle of a conversation is what I'm basically trying to say. So let's watch this next one.
That's kind of shocking. And what it mirrored is American attitudes toward cannabis in the 90s, approximately. We are, unfortunately, have been exposed to generations of propaganda about drugs. Many people have a misguided belief that prohibition is an effective strategy. They simply haven't thought about it very much. They don't understand. They're not thinking deeply. They're not looking at the history. They're not looking at how people have been trying this for hundreds of years internationally, and it doesn't work. And the few times where it does work require enforcement so draconian that it's incompatible with a free society. Like, sure, if you kill people, if the state murders people for using drugs, that tends to work decently, but that's not, I don't think that's a good way to go about this. So that's, I think, a big part of the problem. There was a YouTube comment on my YouTube channel recently where somebody said, ketamine's an interesting drug and all, but there's no way they can make this stuff legal because I used to be addicted to it. And I thought, so your logic is that you became addicted to this drug using it illegally, therefore it can't be legal, even though its illegality didn't prevent you from becoming addicted to it. So there's this like extreme logical inconsistency in this view. Also, he doesn't recognize that it is legal and is used medically all the time. So there's many layers of weirdness, but this is the thinking, is that if somebody has a problem with the drug, the solution is to make it a crime to use that drug, no matter how much evidence accumulates that this is absolutely absurd. It's nonsense. It's a medical problem. If it is a problem at all, it is a medical problem, and one that needs to be treated through social support, medical interventions, not legal interventions. This is a huge waste of taxpayer money, of legal resources. It interferes with science. It interferes with medicine. It interferes with society in general. It costs people, it destroys lives. It's insane that we keep doing this. And a big part of it is that a lot of people support this. Even on my subreddit, I'm a very vocal opponent of prohibition. I sell hats that say the DEA is a terrorist organization, which may not be the most diplomatic, phrasing, but I'm very openly opposed and categorically opposed to prohibition, right? Because I don't, people sometimes will say, oh, psychedelics are different because they're not addictive, or psychedelics are different because they have medical value. It's not about whether a drug is good or bad. That's not the issue. The issue is that prohibition doesn't help people. It's a waste of resources and it harms people. It's incompatible with freedom. It's bad for science. It's bad for public health. That's the point. And so it's sort of unsettling to see on my own subreddit that people are saying, oh, but this is different. They're selling it in gas stations, But the problem is that it always feels different. It always feels, you're always exposed to some propaganda that makes you think that this is the appropriate strategy. And then you look back 20 years later and you think, ooh, maybe placing LSD in Schedule 1 was kind of a mistake. maybe that actually denied people access to a substance that was really valuable for studying consciousness and had potential applications in treatment of addiction and psychiatric medicine. So we really shouldn't have done that. But at the time, everyone had been exposed to news reports saying that it caused chromosomal damage or whatever, and they were afraid. We see this again and again and again for hundreds of years, the same pattern. And I think this is a really good opportunity for people to realize that it's not about whether they like the substance or not. That's actually completely irrelevant. The issue is that this is a waste of taxpayer money that interferes with interventions to protect public health and science.
Ooh, wasn't that a great clip?
So good. And
That
so
was
right.
really
I
good.
agree.
So real and so easy to understand.
Yes,
Yeah.
very much. I'm going to play one more to wrap up. Yeah, you can't even get really close. Like I have like the parts I want, so this is a little bit in front of it. So let's watch this last one.
Bunch of research last year, year before. We kind of got stonewalled, to be totally honest. The FDA sort of stepped in and softly said, nope, we don't want you to do this. And it was unfortunate because there's so, like you say, there's so much unknown still. There's so much research to do. And I mean, that's not even talking, that's the whole Kratom plant. There's still so much research to do, not just on 7-OH, right? It's unfortunate that we're not able to do this right now. So what do you say to the folks that are out there that are saying, because we see it, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of comments are saying, if 7-O gets banned, I'm going back to the illicit market. I'm going to start drinking again. I'm going to fentanyl, et cetera, right? What do you say to them?
I say it's unsurprising. And I think that we've just seen this again and again and again. Synthetic cannabinoids are another example that they tried to stamp it out 50 different ways. They just kept getting stronger and more dangerous, causing more and more problems. They never disappeared entirely. They're still out there. It evolved. The market evolved, of course. I mean, at some point you have to contend with the reality that people use drugs for better or worse. And we need to create a society where that can be done in the safest possible way with the least detriment to the individual and the social structure. And that happens through regulation, through scientific research, through psychological support, through community support. I mean, it's just clear to me that this is going to have all sorts of negative, unintended consequences, and that it's a bad strategy for both the government and for the people who think that this is going to protect Kratom. I don't think that that is going to be the outcome.
Yeah. Well,
I'm going to stop it here. I mean, there's so much on this event they held this week. But I wanted to show you kind of like this best of I put together.
I like how he stressed how many people are going to be affected in a negative way by this ban. Like people are going to hurt and people are going to lose their lives and or, go back to illicit substances. And that's terrible, but, we've been saying this. I know I've been preaching this for the last couple of years, maybe they don't want to listen to my loud mouth. Maybe they'll listen to him, like I would love any of these links that we've watched videos on. If you could send me them later, Madeline, that'd be great. Cause I'd love to repost them and I'd love to be able to just share them with anybody. And even if, people in here want to see them too, I'm sure they wouldn't mind watching, more of the full episodes of stuff. Cause there's a lot of good information that we all should be hearing. Cause I've heard so many positive things from the whole 7-hour, thing that Seven Hope did. And Hamilton he did wonderful. I think he brought a very positive message to the community. We all are going to get hurt.
Yeah. Well, what I showed today, all of that was from their 7-hour live stream they did this week. I just went and pulled different parts to play for y'all. So
we can watch clips for weeks, really.
Oh, you really could.
So good. Yeah,
I'll link in my YouTube description later. I always link to all the different videos we watch. So all the stuff we watched associated with that was all from that 1 7-hour program, and that's on Seven Hope Alliance's YouTube channel. So if anybody don't want to wait, just go to their YouTube channel. You'll see it on there.
And they have it timestamped now.
Yeah,
Perfect.
Yeah, there's timestamps for the whole thing. I saw that, and it's like, oh, that makes it a lot easier. So you can go onto there. I saw it in their description on the YouTube video itself, and in the comments. I saw it this morning that they added it, which I'm so glad they did, because most people are going to be like, I heard Joe Rogan. The Chris Bell documentary was on here, and it's like, but what? How do you go find it in a 7-hour replay?
Right, where is it?
Or the, Carl, what was that? Soren Shade with, what was that? Dr. Carl Hart. Apparently, Dr. Carl Hart's like a real big deal. He was so interesting, but
I had seen him before, but to see him on this show was just eye-opening.
I really got a lot of respect for him.
I have a new hero fixation. He is amazing.
Wonderful, absolutely
really
wonderful.
good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was just for me there was just so many takeaways and things that I've learned, and it just really, like, it's so interesting how things sometimes play out. We 5 months ago, no issues, and all of a sudden we keep getting feeling like we're being yelled at,
scolded like a child.
Scolded like a child by the AKA, because we're
having people open their eyes.
We're having unique voices on our panel here.
Yeah.
And
in the Hart documentary, one of the comments that I keyed on was, we have to protect the consumer. Against what? How about educating the consumer and going after the bad actors?
Yeah.
Because consumers can be educated all by themselves. They don't need your protection. You're not Big Brother.
And protecting the consumer is not taking away from them.
Well, right. And he said protecting the consumer, yet he wants to make 708 Schedule 1, which will criminalize.
So go explain to that 95-year-old woman that you're simply protecting her.
Yeah, exactly. Make it make sense.
Right.
So we get cast as the bad girls because we're having our own opinions and we're seeing things in a different way. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, but yet they're trying to buy, 7.0 off of multiple 7.0 vendors and have it shipped to an illegal state.
Yeah, what's that about?
Yeah, trust me, I've seen it all. I've got the receipts to prove that one.
Yet they call out when the KDA and others are, they play dirty. But
isn't that entrapment? Isn't that a kind of entrapment?
Look at what our own advocacy.
That's where their donation money is going, to pay for 7.0 to try to buy it from other vendors, because they want to see what's out there in a heavily regulated state.
Well, we all have the right to our own opinions and consume what works for us. The thing is, when we come here every week, this is a no judgment zone. And I'm tired of people in our community say you have to pick a side. No, you don't have to. Why do you need to be sides?
I'm an adult. I don't have to.
There shouldn't be sides. Right. There shouldn't be sides, and we shouldn't be divided. It's
exactly
stupid.
There shouldn't be sides when 7.0 MIT, it's all a part of Kratom.
Right.
We are
exactly.
all for the same thing. If Kratom goes, so does MIT, so does 7.0.
Right.
So it's like everybody that's fighting for MIT, everybody that's fighting for 7.0 isn't just fighting for the extract. They're fighting.
I always said that too. If it starts with 7.0, they're gonna ban Kratom too. They're not gonna stop. They're just gonna keep going. So
eeny, miny, mo, the extract.
That's the big thing right there, Sarah. If they are going after 7.0 and eventually MIT, we've already seen these legislators time after time after time say, "Oh, I don't understand it. We can't enforce a regulation. We're just going to ban it all."
Right, because they don't understand it.
Is to get rid of the source, and the source is Kratom.
Yep, get rid of the source, and then we have no problems.
Yep.
And I'm trying to preserve them both. There should be no division, but that's how they want it. And I'm not going to be that way. It does leave me out of some of it, and that's okay. But I am perfectly grateful for the Title 7 Hoper or 708. It doesn't even matter. Those things do not hurt me. And so I'll just leave it at that.
I think Seven Hopers is a great name. So,
I love it. And
with
I'm just
my-
happy to have an organization that now I can go to and advocate with, since I couldn't, stand from the other stuff.
Many people have gotten hope from 7.0. It's like 7 has given many people hope. It's like Kratom has given many people hope. Like, stop demonizing us for whatever alkaloid we're choosing with the plant. Like, come on.
Right. And
Education.
there's so many other alkaloids. I mean, do we want to preserve all of it? Not have it banned and not have access to any of it.
Exactly.
It's going to happen. And
We got to remember the word of the day too, Madeline.
Oh, yes. Word of the day.
I wasn't about to forget this time.
I love that you always remember. I was thinking of it earlier and then I forgot. So you did
hope.
good.
Hope. We can do hope. We don't have to put 7 on it, but hope is a good word. I mean,
That's a good one.
I like hope.
Just
Do y'all
hope.
like that one?
Yeah.
Hope is a good word. So let's put hope in. So for those here live with us right now in the live chat, put hope in the comments so we know you're here. And for those watching the replay, look, if you're watching the replay, we appreciate you because we're about at the 3 minute. We are at 2 hours, 59 minutes and 16 seconds right at this moment. So if you're watching the replay, I'm amazed that you're here the whole time, which is great. We appreciate that. We love the people who are here live too. I know people come and go for the live, and I know some of y'all here live have been here the whole time. And it blows me away the amount of support we get here with our little show. Just this little idea I had a few years ago, and I'm so glad you all like it and like spending your Saturday afternoon with us. It's so cool. So
and
cool.
next time I will be from my new home and my new bedroom.
That's awesome.
That's so exciting.
That's so wonderful.
And I will say for
I'm
the
so happy
millionth
for you.
time, Twinkle, you glow. You're so happy. You're smiling all the time.
Thank you.
It's infectious.
Thank
and it's
you.
like you found what works for you, which is for you is natural kratom and therapeutic amounts of 7-OH. And I'm happy for you. Doesn't mean that's what I do or what I need to be doing.
Yeah.
But I love that you found
Why
what works.
wouldn't we be happy for somebody else? Like all the people who take kratom,
Right.
even kratom only. I am still so happy for them. Like you found something that works for you. And that's why our word today is hope, because doesn't matter what it comes from, or if it's dual, or if it's in combination too, or if it's ashwagandha as well, or valerian root, or devil's claw, or anything
Or even
else out there.
pharma.
We have to have hope. Even pharma, yes, Venus.
And I love my
Even pharma
Mitrospect
for people.
ashwagandha. I have to throw that in every day, every evening. Love my little ashwagandha capsules. Yeah, it's
Okay, wait a minute. I didn't know they had that too.
Oh,
How could you not tell me that, Sarah?
They have the 1 gram capsules of ashwagandha. I take one every night. I love them.
Yep. Me too. Every day.
Those are the best. Yeah, I've been taking those every day.
And you'll start carrying Aquama.
Aquama, yeah. But I'm also happy for the person that's still taking opiates and pain management.
Right.
But there's more, because somebody keeps putting words in my mouth and saying just horrible things about me that says, oh, well, then I also advocate for, or I don't remember the exact words, so don't quote me on this, but that I'm okay with somebody taking street drugs. You know what? If somebody's living in chronic pain that this person obviously doesn't understand and doesn't live with, if you have no access to pain management and your choice is to go to the streets and get illicit drugs or whatever, I'm okay with that, because guess what? I almost had to do that.
Just do it safely.
I
as
almost had to do that.
As you can. Yeah.
But
I mean, I just worked a harm reduction booth for 2 days at a big music festival. We know people are going to use illicit substance there. No, there was not one overdose. We had fentanyl strips. We were teaching proper education on Narcan, CPR. We had it all there. It's again, education. If I can go out and educate people, in a loud, music environment on how to properly look out, and test, drugs and, or, look for an overdose, the information I'm able to share with others, you know, and even speaking on Kratom there and 7.0 there, because many people know about it, you know, the information could probably have been gotten out in the last couple of years on 7.0. I don't think we'd be in this situation had this gone about a much more positive way.
Right, exactly. But I'm just all for anybody in chronic pain that is suffering. We know our voices don't get heard as pain sufferers. We're always left behind. And however somebody's able to help manage their pain, I don't want to see people suffering. And if they are using 7.0H, great for them. Doesn't mean I have to use it, doesn't mean other people should be using it, but if they find what works, or if they're using illicit substances because they can't find anything else, and that's why I advocate and educate, because maybe people don't know there's Kratom or 7.0H now. Like
many didn't even know there was Kratom before the 7 tablets, you know, like, or even like the mid shots, you know, they thought it was Kratom because, you know, and anything that I've seen, it's always, you know, Kratom derivative from Kratom or a Kratom extract. You know, I've never seen an extract specifically called straight Kratom. Not to say it's not happened, but I personally haven't seen it from the smoke shop. So they didn't know, well, what's that? Oh my God, you know, and they're like, well, how do I even, you know, go about that? And with, you know, as long as I've been in the community, I help people with their taper and their jump and all that stuff. So it's good to see more people honestly speaking up on the plant. It really is. Like,
and a few
I'm blown away.
After I first tried it, I was still taking it, I mean, super low. Like, you know, the first time I got it, it was a 5-pack. It lasted months, but I sprained my ankle, and it was a pretty good sprain. I still have a tear line on the top of that foot where the tendon tore. And if I would, because there was no pain medicine at the ER, you know, I went for the x-rays, there was no offer. I didn't ask. I wouldn't have gone. So, I mean, I already know how it is out there, but I was able to relieve that also with 7. So it's also an acute rescue. You don't have to continue to take it. Maybe it would never be a part of your life after that, but you would have relief during that trauma. And even a couple days, you know, of healing, because, you know, there's no pain reliever at, I mean, they didn't even offer Tylenol, and nor did I ask for that, but I had a Midol in my bag and I took that. So, you know, just women's health reliever, but there's just so many reasons why it could be beneficial to different people. So,
right. Exactly.
It's not just chronic. I mean, yeah.
Exactly. One last thing. I mean, we don't have to venture into this. It's just up to you all. And for our live viewers, is anybody, I imagine people here that consume 7.0H has submitted their commentary to the Federal Register, because I know the deadline's coming up. They did walk through it on the 7 Hope Alliance live stream and showed, like, actually had their website up and walked through how to do it. Does anybody want me to show that real quick? Has anybody, even as allies? I mean,
it does give step by
step. Yeah, I would do it.
I think it's a great idea.
Okay, I'll play it real quick, because I really loved how they did this multiple times throughout. Like I said, this is coming from somebody who has been in digital marketing a very long time, and to see how they did this live stream event and all the things they did, and they thought to, like, let's walk through. It's interesting because, like, that's the kind of things I've done here. Like, remember, like, when, like, oh, you can go and fill out the AKA form, which we still do. Like, you know, we're still, like, gonna do all the advocacy things. Doesn't mean, you know, just because this one person likes to say crap, but we still direct people to their site, and we still direct, like, hey, you can go here to go, you know, protectkratom.org and go fill out the form so your voice gets heard. I love, because we've done that here many times where we walk people through it, pull up the screen, and like, hey, has everybody here, you know, submitted your testimony to this potential ban in whatever state or whatever. So I really thought it was great how they did the same kind of thing and showed everybody how to do this on the Federal Register. So
the one thing I would suggest is stress as much as possible. Only do one comment.
Yeah, only do one. So I don't do a bind.
No purpose.
Don't, yeah, because it's not going to get, Like they use what's very common now is to use AI software to catch the obvious duplicates so people are trying to game it, And so, yeah, just go and leave one comment, whether you're a 708 consumer, you're an ally, you have friends or family that use a 708, and you want to share, what you as their ally in this. It really makes a difference, be it with anything, just speaking out. Every year, I don't know if everybody knows this. So in the pain community, every year the government tries to scale back the manufacturing of opiates. They actually, I found this out from my doctor, pain management doctor, in 2011, I think, or 2012, and he told me about this. And I now hear people talking about it publicly now. I don't know if it was as much of public knowledge and people were aware that long ago. The doctor told me that every year the government restricts the amount of manufacturing. And that just makes no sense to me. It's like, wait a minute. So they can go to these companies and tell them you're only allowed to make X amount this year. And he told me that every year they reduce it by like 10%. So every year there's less pharmaceutical opiates available for people in pain. And I was shocked. And so over the last several years, I've seen Claudia Morandi from Doctor Patient Forum talking about it, making sure people are aware. You can go to the Federal Register and y'all can share your comment, tell them no. And it's like, wow, now I don't use opiates anymore because I use my natural kratom powder every day. I haven't been in pain management for 7 years, but
it's a proposed aggregate production quotas.
And I absolutely, I absolutely go on the Federal Register every year. Even though I don't use opiates anymore, I might have to go back to it one day. Who knows? Especially with the way they're trying to ban everything, But the thing is like I went on there as an ally to the pain community, my people that are still want to be able to have access. And so I just want to make it really clear that like with these kinds of things in government, you don't have to necessarily be the user of something, but if you're a supporter,
that's
okay
right
as well. But I do know what they're looking for from consumers of 708 for the Federal Registry is they're curious as to how much people are consuming. So she'll explain it in this video because it's quite. We're getting a lot of somebody's doing something. I can hear a lot of sounds.
I think that was me. I'm sorry. I thought I was muted.
Okay, it sounded like somebody was like, I don't know, like
I thought I was munching again. It could have been, but it wasn't. Not this time.
Like somebody has some snackies and not sharing. Okay,
not me. I was letting my dogs go potty. They had to go pee pee, so that's what I was doing.
No, I'm taking kratom, so that's what the
noise. That's awesome. All right, let me play this for y'all.
Your course. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to just walk you through these steps. So the first thing you're going to want to do is go to 7hopealliance.org/federal. Once you get to that page, you can scroll down. All right, so let's go to take action up there, producer. Take action if you lose track in the nav bar. There we go. So if you lose track of it, go to take action. The first button there's federal. Yep, great. And now we can scroll down. And so we have two different ways for you to do this. The first way is we have an AI LLM set up for you to answer a few key questions, just basic questions about how long you're using products and what kind of milligrams you use. And if you prefer to do things like this, if you fill out that survey, if you want to scroll down just a little bit there, producer, if you take this survey, then that LLM will write you a unique letter that is about you and will send it back to you. And then you will make the post onto the Federal Register. So think of this version as us doing a letter, which we did, 7Hope doing a letter writing call. We've had calls where we've had, advocates come on the call and actually we help them write their letters. This is essentially the same thing as that because it's unique to you. It won't be a duplicate letter. And it's just in place of a human being helping you. Alternately, if you scroll down just a little bit further, There we go. You can directly submit a comment. Do we have a banner anywhere that has the link, just in case anybody wants to go straight to the registry link? I think we do. There it is. You can go ahead and go straight to that link, the regulations.gov link that's in the footer here below. And once you get there, it's going to basically ask you for, you're going to say, let's say it says open for comments right there. And if you click open for comments, and then you scroll down, you'll see the little box there. And on the bottom right, there's a blue box that says comment. And you go ahead and click that comment button. And then once that, let me get it open, there we go. All right, we're just waiting for that comment button to happen. All right, well, we have a little technical issue there, but once you open that comment button, it's going to pop you up a little window, and it's going to ask you to put your comment in there. You can either type it in, you can paste in a PDF or upload a PDF. You could even upload a Word doc, or really any kind of doc that you have. There's an area to just attach a document. And then the bottom part of that, the last bit of it, it asks you who you are. If it asks you what kind of person you are. Are you an individual? Are you an organization? Or are you anonymous? So if you choose individual, it'll just ask you your name, and I think it asks your email address, and that's about it. And then it just, you hit submit. You can, if you want to go anonymous, you are welcome to go anonymous and choose that button, and then it won't ask you for your name. It'll still publish the comment, but it just won't publish your name attached to that when the comment itself shows up in the register. And they are very, very behind right now. Producer, if you could scroll back a little bit, let's take a look at, oh, we're having a little error. Maybe we're hitting them so hard right now that they can't even function. If we go to all comments on the docket, right there, yep. And then on the left, we'll see they've published 6,250 comments, but I believe that as of now, the comments received, they're taking some time. And yes, by the way, they are having errors, and I honestly think it's us. So keep going, keep putting those comments in there, because let's break the HHS system with so many comments. We've got to love that. There we go. We're over 17,000 comments have been submitted. So I want to talk to you about this for 1 second, which is that, so the HHS has an AI that scrubs through these comments. And what they're looking for predominantly is duplicate comments. So that's why we continue to tell you, don't duplicate your comment. Don't use a template letter. Those things are not going to work. I mean, you can submit it, but it's not going to get counted properly. So, but if you, sorry, we just had a little network issue there. But otherwise, there are human beings that have to review all of the comments, and they have to categorize them by topic, by, if you're talking about milligrams and thresholds, then they're going to put that into one bucket. If you're talking about other things, they're going to put that in another bucket. So at the end of the day, they'll say we have X amount of comments, but we also have X amount of categories, I'll use that word, of topics. So that's what we're looking to do, is get as many comments with as many different unique topics in there as well. And a topic could just be thresholds, milligram, that would be one topic. So everybody post, everybody continue to do that. Like I say, let's try to break HHS today. And so with that,
I'm going to stop there.
I am going to.
That's how you go do that, whether you start at the Seven Hope Alliance website and there's that federal section, or you go directly to the Federal Register. But there's a lot of, I mean, that was on Wednesday when they did that. They're almost at 22,000 comments received. That's just amazing. Absolutely amazing. It really shows that, just like with Kratom 10 years ago, that people care. They're coming out and proud to share, because it's not easy. I mean, you could probably tell us better than anyone, Robin. I mean, it's probably hard to get people to even know about this, number one. Number two, please take that moment. At least you can do it anonymously, like she talked about. You don't have to use your name.
Even then, people are afraid because they know that your IP is monitored or tracked. So even then, people are afraid because, okay,
yeah.
What if the ban goes through? Are they going to show up at my door? No, they're not. But I understand the fear and the concern. So try and bite the bullet and do it. Even as we've stressed so much, whether you're an ally, whether you're a consumer yourself, or whether you're just anti-prohibition, helping stand up and fight for each other is the right thing to do.
Absolutely. I think we need to wrap up. It is a long time for me to sit in this chair with my back, even though Kratom is amazing. It helps me tremendously.
That's why I just had to take some, and I've been up walking around so much.
Yeah, I got to stand up and move around a little bit. We've been here for 3 hours and 18 minutes. I mean, I took my Kratom about 20 minutes ago, but it's the amount of sitting. I'm able to sit if I was still in pain management, taking my pharmaceuticals, I would not be able to sit for more than 45 minutes to an hour at a time. So the fact that I can do this is just amazing.
Yeah, that my dog is starting to look at me like, hello, I still exist.
Right. Well, this was a great one today, and there was so much to watch and so much to talk about. And a lot of us here are supporters of people that are utilizing 7-OH. They're not overusing it. They're not having any problems with it. It doesn't mean anybody watching this has to like it. That's fine. Like, we're not telling anybody what to say, what to think, what to anything, but we're just having our discussion. And it was very interesting today, and always learning lots and from
Just
each other.
Putting it out there
is
so vital. And I will once again thank you and the original two Kratom Gals for doing what you do, because it is vitally important. This information has to get out there. It can't be gate kept. People don't have to like what we say. They don't have to agree with what they say, but we have the right to say it. And in my mind, we have the responsibility to say it.
I love that.
So
And we just,
platform.
it's so interesting because like the AKA and GKC never had conversations with us. Like, would y'all do this? Would y'all, and they're not even supportive of what we do. Like, the support we get with doing this is from people showing up here, fellow Kratom consumers. And then we're getting people in the 7-OH community coming and hanging out with us, since we talk about that also, and with Amanda and Twinkle here and sharing their personal experience. And, we're just having conversations. We're all passionate Kratom consumers, and we think it's important to gather together. We're not funded to do this. Nobody's.
And we're having actual conversations, not being shut down by someone else. That's what makes it the conversation. Otherwise, it wouldn't, you'd be turned off, you'd be turned down and turned off.
Exactly.
Well, and it is so vitally important to not only put your voice out there, but to know you're heard.
Yes.
And I think this platform provides that for people that are watching as well.
Absolutely.
We hear them as much as we do ourselves. And it's great that they hear us and keep coming back.
Yeah, for sure. Well, this has been great, y'all. Thank you so much for hanging out.
Hi, everyone.
Thank you to everybody in the live chat.
Everybody have a great rest of your weekend. If you're in my part of the country, try to stay cool, because we are under extreme heat warnings, which is unusual for my part of the world.
I'm just glad we're done with the rain here. That tropical storm.
Yeah, because you had Bertha come back through.
It hit New Orleans and then came right at us. But we lucked out in Houston, where we still got a ton of rain, but it started going further south in the Gulf, so we didn't get the brunt of it like New Orleans did.
Oh, good.
It's that change in weather that's why my back's been bothering me so much this week, and so the sitting gets really hard if I sit too long. So, but now we got sunny skies, warm. It's like I'm just grateful the rain is gone, and hopefully my body will get back to normal once the weather just kind of stays on track. So, yeah, but always a good time.
Weather's ever going to straighten out, so I'm just used to this.
Yeah. And Sarah, Amanda,
gets their stuff in. Everybody gets their stuff in by the 30th. We have to the 30th, I think, for comments.
Yeah. It's so great having you both back. We've missed both of you.
I missed everyone.
Yes.
You guys bring a whole nother vitality to.
Y'all really do.
Oh. Thanks.
Yeah. We
Well,
just have a
thank
great
you all. Missed
we
you
have a
all.
great group.
So
Yeah.
yeah, we really do.
Madeline, you have done an amazing job of putting together the people you have up here.
Really?
You know what?
We
It's
all
my
click.
superpower. It's one of my superpowers that the people that are running the industry just don't even care or pay attention
Appreciate.
to. It's like
it's ridiculous.
It's like I've told them multiple, like, y'all know I've been doing this for 30 years. Like I've been building online communities. I know how to I just do it on my own. Like I've been paying out of my pocket for several years to have our school community. So we have our Kratom Real Talk community where we're not censored. We can talk about Kratom all we want. I do have amazing help and support from some of the amazing companies that in the industry that are, they're not paid. You know, it's so interesting because a lot of people like to have conspiracy theories in our advocacy community that nobody pays me in the industry to promote their products or talk about them or have them come be a part of things. When I talk about the brands I buy, my vendors page I have on my website, that's me doing my goodwill, which I've always done. Anybody that's known me for decades, like I do this in everything I do. It's just how I am. And when I started being more front and center with advocacy, about 3 years ago, I've been consuming Kratom for 7 years. When I discovered Kratom was when I just started taking care of my mom. My dad had passed away suddenly and somebody needed to be at home with my mom. So I moved back into my childhood home. And right when I lost access to the meds, right when I what am I going to do? And then I find Kratom but I knew that, like, let me tell you, once Kratom started working and I'm like, I found my magic. I'm like, okay, I'm going to start a podcast. I already had this all laid out. I'm going to start a podcast and called Kratom Stories. I mean, I was having all these ideas, but I knew I had to wait till that chapter in my life was over because it was just took so much out of me to just be at home, taking care of her with dementia, not easy to do. And once that ended 3 years ago, it's like, I just was all in, and these are my experiences: live streaming, podcasting, bringing people together, and starting a community. So I started the Kratom Real Talk community on School. I've got the link on here, school.com/Kratom Real Talk, or KratomRealTalk.com will get you there. I've been paying out of my pocket for 2.5 years, so we have a place where we will never get censored, and we just can talk about Kratom freely. It's not a 708 community. I know they had one. There was a 708 community on School, but I think they shut it down. But we do have our Kratom community on there. And that's just, I feel so strongly as a Kratom consumer, and because I didn't know or heard about Kratom for 9 years in pain management, I'm going to make sure people find out that there's a plant that might help them. I'm on a mission to do that. And that's my only reason to do all this is I want to share my experience and help others, bring people together, like give y'all a seat at the table. I've been in the 30 years I've done online communities, what I've always done. I pass the mic around, let other people have a voice in a community of like-minded people. So I'm doing all the things I normally do in life. I just am so passionate about helping people with Kratom. And so that's why I do all this. So just want to make sure people knew.
My actual dream when it comes to Kratom is for the day to come when people are so well educated and Kratom is so widely known that when you walk into a doctor's office, they tell you, these are your options, and Kratom is one of them.
That would be amazing.
I'd love that.
That would be so awesome.
I've never dreamed little in my life. Why start now?
Yeah. But it takes all of us as a community with that common goal of like, let's do everything we can to get the positive message out. Stop pointing fingers at people. Stop spending so much time on division. Let's focus on education, advocacy, keeping Kratom safe and legal, and helping one another. You know?
Hallelujah to that.
Yeah. All right, it's time for us to close it. We've been here for 3 hours and 27 minutes. We are put a fork in us. We're done. Great show today. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll be back here next Saturday to do it again, like we always do. And then Venus tomorrow. Our school, we do these school chats private like this, but it's just like a private Zoom inside
Mhm.
of school, and Venus is
It's
always,
great.
kind of running the show there. So we do that on Sundays as well as
amazing.
Thursdays, twice a
Yep.
week.
At
So
3
we'll
p.m.
3 p.m. Eastern. We'll be there tomorrow hanging out. If anybody's around, come pop in. You don't have to stay the whole time. Pop in for a few minutes if you can, even at the end. We just hang out there for an hour, just chatting about whatever.
Yeah.
But it's more private. And you don't have to be on camera. You can just you can just use the audio only. It's all
Yeah.
good.
Sometimes I'm laying down, so
Yeah.
you
Me
can be
too.
comfortable.
Me too. Yeah.
Exactly. Anybody have any final thoughts or last comments they want to make?
Thank you all
Everybody
for
good?
joining.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
Thank
Well,
you, everyone.
since we've been all fired up today, I think we got to play "You Can't Ban My Roots" because that's just a good.
I was
rock-
hoping for that one.
Perfect.
I love that one.
Yeah. So we're gonna rock out to "You Can't." So we'll see y'all next week. Take care.
Bye, everybody.
Roots, nah, 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 nah. You can't ban my truth. Nah, 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 nah. Hey, Florida, we see the game. HB 1489. Not today. Natural leaf, ancient tree. Now they wanna make it a felony. Nah, we ain't playing that corporate tune. Kratom's the voice of 1,000 moons. From the fields to the streets to the healing hands, you can't kill what the earth commands. They assess certification, regulation, tricks. Just another play to make the people sick. They write the rules, we break the chains. Your lobby games won't own our brains. One voice, one fight, we rise tonight. You can't ban my roots. I'm a child of the storm. I was born to be free. I ain't bending no more. You can't break my truth. You can write your lies, but the people rise. No 1489. Mail orders ban, remote sales cut. Who's that help? Big Pharma's gut. They don't want plants, they want pills. They don't want cures, they want bills. But guess what? We ain't that dumb. We'll shout this message till the war is won. Kratom's our anthem, Kratom's our right. HB 1489, we fight tonight. They write the rules, we break the chains. Your lobby games won't own our brains. One voice, one fight, we rise tonight. You can't ban my roots. I'm a child of the storm. I was born to be free. I ain't bending no more. You can't break my truth. You can write your lies, but the people rise. No 1489. You can't outlaw the trees. You can't outlaw the breeze. You can't outlaw the dreams. We are Kratom. We are free. You can't bend my roots. I'm a child of the storm. I was born to be free. I ain't bending no more. You can't break my truth. You can write your lies, but the people rise.